ever seen in BSL. TT1, the guy that I think nobody expected to make it to the round of 4 last season, who was actually like, what did Aridor called him, like a macro god or something? Are we surprised that TT1's back in the top 8, Nyokin?
I'm not surprised. TT1's really good, and he does have really good macro. Like, once the game starts going and he's got his like 10 gates, 15 gates, he's gonna hit his macro. The problem for him, again, is he's running up against b0ph, who he faced last season, got 3-0'd. PvP, a lot of the time, you're not getting up to those 10 gates. You're only stuck on maybe 2 to 3 for a majority of the time. So he's really not going to be able to play to his strength going for that big macro play. But maybe TT1 can find revenge versus b0ph, but that's a little bit of wishful thinking.
Yeah, I mean, look, b0ph, every time it's our job as commentators to like say that there's a chance that people that play against guys like b0ph or True Touch like can win, and then they just smack them. So I want to see something else. TT1, now is your chance. Do you deserve round of 4 like last season or not? This is it. But that's our that's our main course. We're starting out with the appetizer, which is absolutely fantastic. Mad making it farther than he's ever made before. Well, he had that quarterfinals in Gosu League, but this is Pro League. It's a whole different ball game, and you're going up against g0rynich, who's not only just about 50 points shy of 1,000 BSL points because he is so consistent. Getting to the quarterfinals in season 6, which was a super stacked season, really overperformed there or beyond what he has before. And then the finals of last season really shows that this guy is maybe not a human inside. Maybe he's a machine.
Yes, so Mad's going to have his work cut out for him. It's going up against our runner-up last season. His TVT looked good last time we saw him, but g0rynich, if you're making it to the finals, you're really damn good. And I think last season he ended up taking out Dandy, who was crushing him in one of the map tournaments a few seasons ago. So his ZVT is really good. So Mad is going to have a tough time here, but he did look good. But TVZ completely different from TVT.
Yeah, that is a big point that Aridor made in his article, is that Mad's played almost exclusively TVT. He beat Cryok in those epic series in the rematch, and then Dandy and Terra. I'm just like, wow, that's like all the good Terran players. But obviously it's versus Zerg, so we don't really know about his matchup. He does race pick sometimes. I don't think that's what he's going to do today. He plays random sometimes also. This is not 2v2. I hate to break it to you. So it's a very interesting games ahead of us for sure. I think I'm leaning a little bit towards Not For You or g0rynich, just because he has better results. But you know, Mad is a wild card, so anything could happen. And if I'm not mistaken, we are going to try to do it live today for you guys as we get into our first game. The map is Sylphid, so starting things out on a pretty standard map here. I don't know who this necessarily benefits or not. I think it depends on the builds quite a bit. TVZ, we saw Mad do a whole bunch of stuff, a lot of high-tech openers.
Yeah, I like Sylphid because you can wall initially, but the Nat you can't wall. You got that little gap.
Oh,
so,
that's right.
You know, potentially we could see a bunch of Ling run-bys, but g0rynich doesn't strike me as somebody that will do that. So maybe we could see some mech play, and then we have a 3-player map, which you can somewhat split, maybe. So I don't know. Sylphid is pretty balanced, so this should be a good map for both sides.
Yeah, well, it looks like our players are in the lobby and ready, and this feels a little bit weird because we have to like wait for them to like be ready and start the game. But I'm ready. If our players are ready, then I think we're good to go for our first game of the round of 8. The playoffs of BSL Season 9 start right about in 5 seconds. Okay. All right. Wow. This actually looks great. In the 12 o'clock location at the top of the map, Neo Sylphid playing in the playoffs of BSL Season 9. For the first time, this is our Norwegian Terran player, Mad.
And in the bottom right, repping Zerg, we have our blue player. It is g0rynich. So g0rynich, I don't think we've seen his Zerg versus Terran that much. I think last week we saw him versus Protoss. I think, right? With the DeWalt in them. I'm pretty sure we saw him versus Protoss. So, no, actually he was versus Gordon, Oya, Dragon, and Casper. So we did see a lot of ZVP there. Remember, Dragon was looking so good.
Super good.
Crushing g0rynich the first time, but g0rynich coming back and actually taking out Dragon 2-1. So we haven't really seen much of his ZVT just yet.
Yeah, we got to see him play against Casper. That was primarily Casper just like forcing mech every game. And eventually, g0rynich did kind of get the best of him in some weird series. But yeah, I felt like Casper was playing pretty well on that days, but obviously a very different style from what we can expect here from Mads. So that was just sort of our appetizer for Mads versus Zerg. We just don't know. It's kind of a wild card here.
Well, as I was saying in the beginning, we do have the wall off. So this is most likely going to be mech. Doesn't have to be, but it would be very unusual if it's not. Okay, there is the guy. So this is going to be a great opener for Mad. What I actually like to do nowadays when these drones come in is insta wall. If the Zerg wants to go for a 2-hatch, that's going to be an instant drone loss for him. And actually one drone matters quite a bit. So we'll have to wait and see, is g0rynich going to go for 2-hatch knowing he's facing mech play right now, or is he going to go for 3-hatch? I've actually been seeing more and more 3-hatch these days. It's still not as common as it was in the 5 racks days of Terran versus Zerg, but I am seeing it come back a little bit more.
Do we have a spawning pool yet? I'm still waiting to figure out if he'll actually be able to. There it is. Okay, right on time. I'm missing our production tab. That's like really throwing me off here. I can't cheat.
Oh, that's true. We actually don't have that. So what we do have, though, is we do have pool and then extractor, and it was about a 220 extractor. So it's a little better econ than some of the 2-hatch builds that you see, which is like around 205, 210 gas. So there's going to be a little bit better econ for g0rynich. That means that most likely we're going to have a fast third base from him. Try and go into probably mass muta play. That's very popular these days, especially with Soma leading the trend. Now, back on Mad's side of the map, he has pulled out a gas. So we're not going Koget style. This is not Mass Wraith, man. This is not Vulture Run by, man.
Yeah.
It is just going to be one fact expand from him. Very normal. More than likely, we're just going to see that standard Goliath follow-up.
Yeah, fact expand. I mean, I was getting used to, like, before, like, mech was, I mean, maybe this popular. We were seeing racks expand, like, quite a bit. But the, I don't know if you want to be that, I don't want to say greedy, but fact expand is super safe against almost everything. I mean, maybe not for long, and we'll find out once this SCV gets taken out. But it does look like it's just going to be 2-hatch for now.
Yeah, 2-hatch. Now, I'm looking at Mad's money, and it looks like we're cutting an SCV. So it looks like we might actually have a second fact follow-up really quickly. No, there goes the depot. So everything so far looks like Flash's Goliath opener. Now, we saw Casper. Every single time Terran versus Zerg, he was getting +1 weapon, and then not actually camping with it, still going for the 1-1 timing. We'll have to see if Mad is going to go for the more traditional +1 armor timing, which is safer in general, but with +1 weapon that Casper liked to do, he was actually dealing a little bit more damage to the mutas when they poke in. So I have to wait and see what Mad is going to go for. I think if he goes for +1 weapon, he's going to camp, because that's generally what you go for.
Well, also, we saw Mad kind of play that way in his TVTs. I mean, maybe that's just like a TVT thing, but he definitely seemed willing to play out the long game. And I was watching Scan play this week. He's a Korean Terran player, plays a lot in a lot of non-Korean tournaments. And he's great for build orders. And he loves just turtling for this 2-1 push that's just insane. And could see something along those lines from Mad here as far as play style is concerned. So on the other side, this is just going to be, I think, the most standard 2-hatch muta we've ever seen. I didn't see him do anything. He did like an extractor trick early. Oh no. But other than that, it's not like he's cutting anything super weird. There is the, oh no, okay. The third hatchery at the front is not something I'm used to seeing as part of the wall, but I guess it makes sense on Sylphid.
Yeah, and there is the fast third hatch for g0rynich. So he's going to get up his larva, or he's going to get some more larva production there. He's got his spire going up. Everything is very standard. I was looking at the game timer of Mad. His armory is a little late, and the reason it's late is because he's actually got mines on the map. And this is smart, because if you look at the overlord positioning of g0rynich, non-existent anywhere. So any base that he wants to take as a third base, it's going to get delayed. You know, a few seconds, going to have to sacrifice a link. So that's actually very nice. But Mad is trading his +1 armor or weapon timing for that. So he may have already decided that he's just going to go into camp style with 2-1. Now, g0rynich already knows that this is a mech game. So he's already got his evolution chamber. His +1 weapon is actually going to be in line with MadiNho's +1 armor or +1 weapon. So that's actually very nice for him.
I mean, at this point, you can see Mad is obviously preparing for mutas. He's got turrets up. He's got Goliaths out there. Charon boosters should be out, you know, anytime soon. And I mean, this works great against mutas, but I don't think this is going to be one of those mass mutas with that Evo chamber signaling that eventually, you know, he'll be switching into either Hydras to fight off the Goliaths or, you know, teching up past that.
Yeah, and something that people don't use mines for that I like what Mad did is he has these mines in the center of the map just randomly. And even though they're not going to hit anything, he saw where the mutas are. So if he had, you know, more Goliaths in a specific scenario, he could just instantly intercept them because the mutas think they come in unseen and then just instantly pick off a muta. So really good placement of the mines. I love where they are. You can see that g0rynich actually is taking a base that does not have a mine. Mad put them at bases that had gas, and g0rynich is going into a mineral only. So all signs lead to mass Hydra Man in this scenario. Probably going to see 5th hatch coming down pretty soon. 6th hatch maybe.
Yeah.
This is so hard to deal with.
I would say this definitely looks like a 6th hatch kind of game, especially when you are forced into not taking another gas. Obviously, every Zerg in the world wants as many gases as they can get. Hashtag Desperado. But I think for this map specifically, once you're forced into that, I mean, you've got to make what's that farmer saying? Make hay while the sun shines.
I have no idea. You're the guy
never
from
heard
Texas.
that?
Yeah.
Well, I did grow up on a farm, so I consulted my almanac for sayings like this before I needed to cast StarCraft, and that's where I get them from. So let's see what this drone is up to. Where are we going?
Yeah, it's probably gonna be another hatchery pretty soon. I'm already getting worried for Mad because he's going for actually the 5-fact timing standard flash follow-up, and there's just gonna be so many Hydras, and they're gonna be heavily upgraded. The fact that he got the evolution chamber so fast, he may even have +2 weapon by the time Mad moves out with 1-1. Generally, you're moving out at around like 10-15, 10-30, but because his armory got delayed with the mines, it's gonna be even slower. And, you know, a lot of Zergs follow up with queens. If they can get the energy before the push comes out, you know, that's just going to, he's going to be able to insta-pop all the tanks. Because usually it's somewhere between 3 and 5. Then you have pure Goliath versus Mad Hydras. Never the fight that you want to get. And the problem with this build, no Academy. So Mad has to guess, is this mass mutas? Is this Hydras? Meanwhile, Hydras are actually moving across map, and it's actually a lot of them.
And actually a few very well-placed mines in the middle of the map are going to see everything. Now, great job picking off the mines with the mutas on the way, but I mean, I don't know if he has enough. This is a lot of Hydras.
Oh, he just barely saw it. Now he needs to pull SCVs right now. Goliaths need to move from the center of the... Or
we ain't moving. They're not moving, Nyoken.
He also has +1 weapon, so it doesn't help him in this fight.
Yeah,
but now he saw.
I mean, he did see them. He's seen them a couple of times, but I mean, there's already an Overlord there. We're gonna have Game-O mines. I'm waiting for these to kill every single Hydra, but it's not happening. There's 0 splash damage here, Nyoken, and the Goliaths haven't moved in from the main.
Yeah, but that's a bunker rapid. It does survive for a long time, but the Goliaths aren't really coming in time. Maybe the SCV and Goliath combination can actually hold. It looks like Mad is going to hold.
Is it?
Yeah, he does hold. And losing these SCVs really isn't an issue to Mad because that just frees up supply. That means he doesn't have to build supply depots anymore. He's already all in with 5-fact anyways. So trading, what did he lose? Like 4 Marines and like 4 Goliaths there for all those Hydras and all those mutas? That's okay.
We don't need SCVs to go kill you. So, I mean, this counter push is going to be super strong. I mean, like not incredibly, and I guess, I mean, we should have lurkers out soon-ish, right?
There's going to be no lurkers. Usually it's just pure Hydras when Sir goes for this. And
okay.
Actually, this is kind of an anti-timing because Mad probably has +1 armor going, but he doesn't have it just yet.
Not now, and so catching him in the middle of the map without that upgrade, Goliaths are not that great against Hydras, Nyoken.
Yeah, Hydra's easily going to pick this off. And now Mad, who was going for a 1-1 timing, goes out before his +1 armor kicks in. Now he's going to be stuck back in his base. He's going to lose all of these Goliaths, or the majority of them.
Yeah.
And actually now losing those 5 or 6 SCVs is a big deal. But g0rynich is not like he's got super econ. He's only got decent saturation in his mineral only. But 6 Hatch Hydra versus pure Goliaths, Goliaths don't win that fight. So
new. I mean, like if we see some tech labs come down, we switch into like some siege tanks. I guess that'll be okay against. Oh no! Okay, wow. No justice in this world, Nioken. That should have been so much worse. Yeah, like so if we get some tanks out, tanks are pretty good against Hydras, right? Unless they get dove on. And I think the fallback plan here for Mad is to just kind of turtle up. But I mean, this is 2 bases. Terran's gonna go pretty long time on 2 bases, but not forever, especially when the Zerg didn't lose that many drones. He's got 5 bases up, or 5 hatcheries up. I think he's up to 6 now.
Yeah, well, this is pretty nice. Vulture Run By gets some drones. That's one of the benefits of getting the +1 weapon, is you start 1-shot or 2-shotting the drones very easily. But he missed his window going for that timing. Now he sees the bad news, which is Zerg has 4 base. The only good thing was the drone count was non-existent at both of those bases.
Yeah.
So at least Zerg isn't skyrocketing in econ. Actually, Mad's recovering somewhat decently. He's got double add-on now. We still don't have +1 weapon for him. I mean, +1 armor for him. But once that kicks in, he's got to go. I'm not even sure if the armory's actually spinning.
It's not.
So, okay, that's a big miss right there. That's probably the most important upgrade he could have gotten in this specific fight. So this is going to be all or nothing for him. If he doesn't do critical damage, like push to win, basically, 4 base Zerg versus 2 base Terran with no Irradiate, no 3rd base, no real powerful upgrades. How do you really ever come back from that?
You definitely do not. I feel like he's just kind of repeating the same mistake he made last time. Over pushing out onto the map. Oh, these mines does not connect, and I thought that popped up for a second, but I'm kind of surprised he doesn't have Overlord speed, knowing that he needs to sweep for the counter pushes. But he's just been really on point, targeting down these mines, and there we go. Wow, how many queens is that? It's like 7, 8 queens?
7 queens. So it's going to be 2 minutes for him to get energy for Broodling. So this is a window of opportunity for Mad. But if he doesn't hit it, you know, he's going to be stuck basically camping out. And I personally think it's very hard to do Mac just camping, because queens are so hard to actually kill before they cast Broodling. So kind of a countdown for Mad, unless he can control versus these queens very well.
Yeah, this is Matt is social distancing inside his base right now. He is not allowed to go outside. He has to work from home, essentially. Now, let's watch what happened to these protester vultures. They don't like social distancing, Nioken. No, they want to get out here and have their right to plant. Wait, are they just dying for free to the coronavirus Zerg? I don't want to say this is a metaphor for life, but all I'm trying to say is they're not alive anymore.
Oh God, is that 5 more queens? Okay, so we have 12 queens. Now, I mean, do you need that many queens? I mean, queens are great, but you got to be able to control them. Luckily for, you know, Zerg, you can just suicide an Overlord in and then clone some of them. But it is hard to control 12 queens. Mad only has like 6 tanks, so all of these tanks needs to go bye-bye.
Well, I feel like g0rynich kind of, like he thought in his deep Zerg brain, he's like Broodling good, build queen. It's true, but at some point, like, I mean, what they do is very good. They just don't do anything else, you know? It's not like High Templar Storm where they can like do it a lot and it kills a lot. It just kills one thing. So,
yeah, but it kills the most important thing, which is the tanks.
True.
And look at the supply. That's the main issue for me, is it's even supply with 12 units that just instantly pop a tank immediately. Yeah. And then we're going to have pure Goliath left over. The Zerg has +2 weapons. Remember, still no +1 armor for Mad. So we're getting no nullified damage from the Hydras at all on any of these units.
Yeah,
so
we're building Goliaths, but we're not sure how if we don't have an armory, because he kind of forgot about it. So
yeah, and still, I don't even know if we have a starport for a radiant or anything. Yeah, +1 really not a good upgrade. So
I mean, yeah, we're looking to see like a 2-1 hit around like the time you're trying to take a 3rd base. So to do all this on +1, like, I don't know the exact breakpoints, but
yeah, he's got double armory but no science facility, so can't even use it. So I think all Mad really needs to do is just hit max or near max,
Mm-hmm.
and then just go for it. He's got the queens. They have energy now. Mad has a different plan, though. He's going to go for a drop. Vulture drop into the main, try and get a decent amount of damage done. At least this buys him time to get up a fourth base. Mineral only going up for him.
Insta pull on the drones. I mean, it's not going to save all of them, but there's a couple of Hydras here coming back. Got a couple kills. Some mines will be annoying, but not the critical damage he was looking for. And Mad loves this way to get back into the game. Getting out there with drops, trying to just stress test his opponent. But this is g0rynich. This guy made the finals epic last season. And so I don't think you can expect him to fall apart to a couple of drops. And oh yeah, here we go. Ride of the Valkyries or Queens or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, all of these queens have energy now. So now all g0rynich needs to do is get vision of these tanks. And then he's going to have such an easy kill on everything else. Now, Mad is doing something that you don't see almost ever, which is floating eBays, barracks over all of his tanks. Unfortunately, they're not in the exact position. They can still get insta-pop.
Like, this only works if they perfectly block your tanks underneath from being clickable by the queens. And it's really polarizing the way that that works. Okay, we've got to be careful as we push through the minefield. Oh, no. Okay, so we figured out where the tanks are. That means we're going to start cloning these queens right and left, trying to take everything out. So let's see how many tanks go down. We got 1, 2, 3. This queen's kind of chilling. No splits. I'm not sure what else he's doing. He's bringing more queens in, but these queens are not healthy units. They're going down. He's just not microing the queens at all.
Yeah, but he popped all the tanks at the third base, and it's just a matter of resources at this point. Goodbye, command center. Mad only has 3 bases, now 2. It's 17 minutes, so he's going to be out of money pretty soon. Sure, he's got mineral only top right, but that doesn't have a gas, and he's going for units that are highly gas intensive. Meanwhile, Zerg doesn't care. They've got 4 bases, soon to be 5 bases. He's taking bottom left, and I think maybe even mid right.
I'm not sure what really the queens did there. I think he ran in with 25 queens and was like, wait, there's only 7 tanks here. So while it looks like to the untrained eye, he just didn't move his queens at all, there wasn't a whole lot to click there. So yeah, the tank count is now dismally low. The third base has been completely taken care of. And this is Zerg on like 25 hatcheries. Oh my god, there it is. Justice, where's the Game-O gas? Get the Zoom of Doom on g0rynich here. Although I don't think he's too doomed right now. He's got like so many hatcheries, so much larva, resources out the wazoo, wherever that is.
Yeah.
They never told me that. That's just the saying. I don't make the rules here. Yeah, he's not even mining at half of his bases, but we're saving those for later.
So Mad is doing a good job to close the gap in terms of supply. The problem is that it's a lot of vultures. Sure, they lay mines, but that can get cleared very easily. He needs those powerful tanks. He needs Goliath to soak up hits. The queens, they're still here. A couple went down, but we still got 7 or 8 of them, and that's usually more than enough to pop the majority of the tanks. Vulture's going to find some kills on the drone down here, but that doesn't matter. Look at the supply lead for g0rynich now. Remember, he's been hitting his upgrades this whole time. I see he has carapace. I don't know what his weapon damage is yet, but maybe even has +3 versus just 1/1.
I still don't know what happened to the upgrades there. Decent job running through the... He took 3 vultures. He clicked on the opposite side of the map. He ran through the fire and the flames and the hydras and still made it in to get a couple of drone kills. Like, wow, should do that more often. But the time is running out. We've got Hive Tech coming in. We're clearing out all the mines that are stopping us from taking bases because, you know, Lord knows nothing else is stopping us, right? I mean, for g0rynich, he can do basically whatever he wants. And for Mad, I mean, he's desperately mining off. Is his third and basically only base.
Yeah, and top left instantly gets denied.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a denied base for Mad. Bottom left is starting to slowly get taken completely by g0rynich, and it's just a resource game at this point. Mad, let's say he even gets top left. That's 5 bases, which is super strong, but g0rynich has access to every other base. He has like 8 or 9 base potential. He could trade the worst in history and still probably win any fight. He's also got Hive Tech now. Once we start seeing defilers or lurkers come in, I only saw 1 vessel, so we actually have no counter to lurkers under Dark Swarm.
Yeah, it's not looking good for our Norwegian Terran player here. The Queens, they juiced up again, and it's time to watch this foreigner cloning once again. We're not waiting. We're going for it. 8 queens in the forefront. And how many tanks do we have? I think that's 8. Just thereabouts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A few. Okay, we got like 10 tanks at the third.
Oh.
And really, there are some underneath the buildings. Let's see if we can target those down. Overlord's running in. Can we get the spawn broodlings we need? Tanks popping. And so is everything else there. Oceans of Hydras coming through, and even though there are a couple of siege tanks underneath these E-bays, it's just not enough to stop the flood of Zerg.
Yeah, but Vulture drop into the main, so it's going to deal a little bit of damage to g0rynich, but third base goes down again for Mad. The drones are really getting ransacked at the main and natural right now, but does it matter? There's just so many Hydras.
Yeah, and this is like just a move at this point. He doesn't want to break into a tank line when he doesn't have queens to take it out. The queens did eventually run out of energy. I think we forgot about that one down there. But, I mean, killing off those drones is not 0 damage. You know, the main is now a lot more sparsely populated. The outer bases aren't really mining that much. I mean, you think that's enough damage to kind of equalize losing that third?
No. There's no
All
way.
right.
If Mad had another base, like if we were still mining on 2 base, I think it would have been okay because he would have still had good econ coming in, but now just mining the mineral only, which only has like 6 patches, basically a non-existent econ right now. I think Hydra's just overrun this easily. Here comes Mad.
Yeah, I love that we can zoom out and see the tank line because it is not long. And there we go. 1, 2. We're just counting at this point. Nice EMP. It's kind of the salt sprinkled on top of this, but I think he kind of mixed up the salt and sugar because this is looking pretty sweet for g0rynich, or at least it was like at some point. We seem to have lost everything though.
Yeah, there's just not enough Hydras. Remember, there's a lot of supply in Queens. He had like 8 earlier that he used. It looks like he had a few more there, so probably like 12 or 13 Queens. So not that many Hydras actually. And now Mad actually has +2 weapons. So he's hitting really hard. He has +2 armor. He even has vessels now for D-Matrix. Now he's on, semi-high ground here. This is a fantastic position for Mad. Look at the supply now.
Yeah.
It also cuts off reinforcements from the Nat now.
Oh yeah, you're right. Segmenting Zerg hatcheries is like super powerful because then their units can't like clump up and overwhelm you. Maybe you get sandwiched here, and I think either a counterattack or a flank is what g0rynich is looking for. He's got a lot of troops in the middle of the map, and I think he's looking for that clump of Terran on the left-hand side, but this looks like a counterattack to me.
Yeah, it looks like a counterattack. The flank would be absolutely massive because also, oh no, the Queens!
Oh, these tanks are not that well protected. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lots of spawn broodlings out there, but the Queens will get taken out, all but one.
Look at how many Hydras from the back, though. But actually, that's not that many.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was going to be more, but he's attacking simultaneously from below and above. A little bit slow on the rally through that outer base, but nice D-Matrix there on the Goliath to try to make it last a little bit longer, but it's just not enough. Everything gets overwhelmed, taken out, and even though there's economic damage from these Vulture run-bys, I don't know if that equalizes it.
No, he lost his whole army, even though it was a good move to position his units there. He needed to get reinforcements, but he couldn't. The Hydras were making sure that reinforcements not possible. Now Mad is kind of scrambling to get some damage done. He knows that his econ is too low. His tank count is almost non-existent now, and now even more tanks are going to fall.
Yeah, I actually think that our Pinky's like a second behind the stream, which is odd, but I'm just trying to watch these Hydras kill everything. So when that happens exactly is not as important as it happening. And barring a mine hit that happens in the future when we can't see it, everything is going to die to Hydras.
Yeah, all the tanks fall. Still a 25 supply lead for g0rynich. Bottom left might get taken out by these Vultures, but at this point it doesn't matter. Mineral only has got to be mined out now. It's or at least very close to being mined out for Mad. The high ground base on Sylphid, it's a low mineral base, so that's probably close to being mined out. The Vultures are dealing more damage than I expected, but it's just still 6 base versus basically 2 base mining.
Do it. No, we're not going to do that. But there's not a lot of drones out here for g0rynich. I mean, this is the major caster handicap of not having the drone counter. There's still a couple of very saturated bases, so he will be able to redistribute the drones. As long as they don't get caught in transition, Vulture's back at it again. time a couple of Sunkens and Hydros will shut them down. And I think if g0rynich can stabilize back on his side without losing a billion drones like this, he'll be okay. But I mean, wow, gas drones going down. Every single base has been harassed at this point.
Yeah, but doesn't matter at this point because there's no gas for Mad. It would be different if he had gas econ. Look at how slowly his gas goes up. It's taking forever to actually get 100 gas. It looks like his nat just depleted right now. It's going up 2 by 2 by 2 by 2.
Yeah.
So vultures, sure, they add up in supply, but Hydras don't care about vultures. They just deal with them so easily. We got a 40 supply lead. They have 3-2 now on the Hydras. Sure, Terran's heavily upgraded, but there's no powerful units. There's no tanks. 5th base, I'm sure, is about to get denied too. Just waiting for those queens to build energy. That's all g0rynich has to do. 3rd base, or the 5th base, I guess, should easily be denied as soon as he finds it.
Is 5th base or 4th base?
It's his 5th base, top left. It may even get denied right now.
No. He should be able to reposition in time, especially if he can get siege tanks on the high ground there. But man, look at these vultures. What is going on?
Yeah, he's doing such a good job with these vultures, not only getting kills, but just buying time, because that's what he needs. Tanks are good, but they're only good in critical mass. 3 tanks right here, not critical mass. He needs to buy as much time as possible to get up as many tanks as possible. The problem is the queens just really haven't been killed the whole time.
Yeah, lots of reusability, lots of value added from those queens. And where are they? Are they coming back in anytime soon? I think they're almost to like full energy.
Oh gosh, there's like actually almost 15 queens.
I don't know if they know what the word queen means, but they are numerous.
Oh, no.
And the tanks are not. There's a few up on the high ground, and they do have an eBay covering them, but not well enough. Look, he clicks on the tanks underneath the eBay. That's so hard to do, even though the queen's popping, so is everything else, like I said before. Yeah, basically just a couple tanks left, and I mean, this is just g0rynich overrunning Mad. It was nice. The harassment was, about as good as it could be, but not good enough.
Yeah, it was really nice try from Mad to come back with the vulture harassment. Unfortunately, his Goliath attack really just is what sealed the deal. We moved out at an anti-timing, did no damage. He held the initial Hydra push so well. He was really in an okay position, but now getting his 3rd base denied over and over and over. g0rynich is going to take this game, going to go up in the series 1-0 on a map that is really good for mech, so that's not a good sign in future games for Mad.
Yeah, and that's it. GG. Congratulations to g0rynich. He starts the series out with a 1-0 lead. And, I mean, these are best of 5, guys. So don't forget, playoffs, that means that when you lose your series, done for the season. You do cash out, though. Let me see what the prize pool distribution is. So if you place top 8 in BSL Season 9, you're getting at least $50, okay? So not bad, $50. Obviously, once you get up into like 1st place, it's almost $1,000. So there's definitely a lot on the line. Nobody wants to go home with $50 instead of $150 for 4th place. So a lot on the line here, but it is a best of 5. That means we get at least 3 shots at trying to make a comeback happen here for Mad. And he almost kind of made that comeback happen when he pushed out and we lost all the Hydras and the queens didn't really kill all the tanks. And I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, his comeback was good. The problem is we just have no answer to the queen. That's the problem with Camp Mech, is how do you deal with queens? And like, they just pop you and leave, pop and leave. And then they actually have a lot of health. That's the issue that I have with camping. If there was some way to like instantly kill them, or like, if I could irradiate as easily as they can Broodling so that they have to at least rebuild them. But I mean, it's disgusting.
What if you just dematrix the tank that is doesn't matter.
Broodling? Doesn't matter. Dematrix doesn't stop that. But it's an instant kill.
But the shield. No, I'm just memeing. Anyway, look, how do we beat the queens? Maybe switch back to bio is the way to go. I don't think so, but we'll see what Matt decides to do. Our next game is on La Mancha, so a little bit different. Still haven't seen Monte Cristo yet. You and I were both kind of talking about that ahead of time. Fingers crossed, not likely. But hey, we get to a 5-game series. Anything can happen. Game number 2 is almost ready. We've got both of our players in the lobby. and ready to go. Looks like Mad needs a little bit more time to, put more Alizé in his body, but he's ready. Okay. Now we just need to make sure if g0rynich is good to go, and we'll be good with our next map in the series. The map is La Mancha, and our players are good. So here we go with game number 2. In the upper left-hand corner of the map, La Mancha, playing Zerg from Russia. This is g0rynich.
And in the bottom left, in the yellow, he's down 0-1. It is MadiNho. So again, La Mancha is a good map to wall off, so we may see another mech play. But this time, you can actually wall the natural, and that could be a mind game. You don't necessarily have to go mech when you can wall the natural.
True.
So this could be, fast eBay that Casper pulled out on Escalade, which I've seen Firebat Hero use sometimes. This could be even like a fake fast expand. Maybe he hides a second Rax and does some terror-esque type of play, move out very quickly. You never know. This doesn't necessarily have to be mech. We'll have to wait and see. Is Mad going to actually wall his natural? I would find it very unusual if he doesn't. There goes that SCV, so we are going to have a wall.
So we're going to have a wall. Also, we meme about players scouting correctly in BSL, but g0rynich is not. He scouted incorrectly with the Overlord. If he drone scouts, where's it going to go? I don't think you scout cross positions then, but we'll see how quickly he can figure out what's going on the other side of the map. This is a 9 pool with gas.
Yeah, and I don't think this is going to be a canceled gas. Ooh, it is.
Oh, it is.
Be canceled. So they must have history here, because for me, opening 9 pool here feels very weird, since you're playing versus someone that likes mech, that likes to wall. I would feel like it's obvious that he's going to wall this position. But as I say that, he might be going for a wall, but this is going to be command center first. And a 9 pull just directly kills you. So he's going to have to scramble to get up his Rax and Depot here at the same time as soon as he sniffs it out. But unfortunately for him, he's not scouting. So,
going for the CC here without having gotten any information, you can't even tell what's going on based on the drone scout timing. So, maybe that does tip you off that it's here a little ahead of schedule, but oh man, that CC hurts. He's going to build the barracks, but especially if it's not done in time, then you can't repair it. So it's going to be close, especially with the drone on the inside.
So last time we saw this, we saw Crossy versus Terror, the 4 pool into the wall, and Terror manages to survive somehow. So Mad isn't dead yet, but he should be. There's no, like you said, there's no way to repair it. That's the thing. If he could repair it, it's different. But Lings are already here.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just not up in time. If he can't complete the building process, there's no way to use the Terran immortality powers. And yeah, that's it. You pick off the SCV building, you just going to take it down. If he pulls workers like now, maybe he can block it off, but there's no Marines. You can't fight back, Nyokin.
Oh, the SCV is still building the racks at least, but Lings keep coming in. And actually, g0rynich is kind of messing up his build here. If this doesn't work, he's floating 600 minerals, so there's actually comeback potential. The problem is there's 6 Lings in his base.
Yeah, I don't know how many Lings we need to get to the center of a Terran pop. It's not going to take very much more.
He got the racks up?
He did get the racks up, but there's still no wall. We've got a drone to drill and only SCVs to fight back with right now. And I know SCVs are good, guys. You're telling me all the time. I'm looking in the Twitch chat. It's like, wow, SCV, wow, they're so good. Wow. Not that good.
Okay, this time, Mad is just going to die here. He has no money.
A part of me knew. I'm like, yeah, is that the part that built the command center? Is that the part of you that knew? Because it doesn't look like it. Wow. Look, we got to have a conversation with our players. This game is live, so maybe they're watching, maybe not. Hope not. But for Nyokin's own safety, I need to inform our players that the subway doesn't open for another 3 hours. So if they want to slow it down so Nyokin doesn't have to pay the $10 for a taxi, then maybe we can get g0 to like give us taxi money to get Nyokin home on time. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe that's for BSL 10 only. I don't know. If you guys want to donate to BSL to sponsor Nyokin's taxi ride home
and my chair.
Oh, that's right. We're back to chairs today because Nyokin, I don't know.
I carried some melons all the way here.
Oh, that's right. Actually, I didn't show our audience. Nyokin brought me a crate of these. This is like what do you call it? I think it's called like an Oriental melon or they're Korean melons. It's like if you ever had like one of those cantaloupes or like the green ones, like just the melons. It's like that, but yellow on the outside. Everything else is exactly the same, except I don't know. Tom Brady would try to find a way to inflate this, but it's good. So thank you very much, Nyokin. I can't make the subway open faster for you.
Yeah,
so
unfortunate. So we're hoping for a comeback here.
That's right. So if you guys want to donate to support Nyokin's dangerous melon habit, then BSL is the place. Also Patreon, you can do that too. We've got more games. So we're 2 games into the series. Can Mad pull it back?
Maybe, I guess. He looked okay in the first one. Second one, we don't even know because it just instantly ended and again escalated another map to wall. So I actually would like to see 9 pull again because I think he might actually 14cc again or be tilted in 8 racks. So I think 9 pull would be actually a really good opener here, and that might mean that we have a fast game.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you go like 9 pool into like an 8 racks and a couple of Marines and an SCV are coming at you, and then 6 Zerglings kill them all, and you're like, oh, well, my racks is in the middle of the map now. So let's find out what happens. The map is Escalade. So this is going to be, I guess, exciting early on, especially if they are like close positions. Anything could happen. Is it the time for 14cc? Is a 9 pool coming? Let's find out.
In the top left, he's down 0-2 on the brink of elimination. He needs your energy, Rapid. It is Mad.
He needs to get Mad. He's got to find some way to dig down deep and come back against this guy. And he is our Blue Zerg player from Russia. It's g0rynich, and he is up 2-0 in the series. Man, his games have just looked so good. It feels like he's just got the build order that he needs every time. You remember in game number 1, he threw Dune that super early evolution chamber, and already knew he was going for queens, and then just sat back, relaxed, and broodlinged everything. Game 2, he's going for the 9 pool into a CC. Can't ask for a better build. But now we're cross positions, so I don't know if that 9 pool looks so good anymore.
Yeah, and we do again have Depot at the ramp. This is at the main though, not actually at the natural. You can do a full wall at the bottom of this base, but he's not actually going to go for it this time. So it's going to be similar to Sylphid, where he's not able to, I guess, or not going to have a wall up at the natural. Now, g0rynich this time, no 9 pull. He did just go straight into an Overlord. Looks like we are going to go into a 12 hatch play, so everything looks very similar. I am going to be paying attention to his gas timing. Last time on Sylphid, we saw the 220 gas, so he had a little bit better econ than the all-in 2-hatch play. Now, Mad with another wall, does this mean it's going to be 12 gas, or are we going to have a fake? It looks like that SCV is moving into position, though. Yeah, it did take the refinery.
Okay, all right. Well, that answers your question. It's going to be more tech on the way. Mad does this weird thing where he'll go like a 1-1-1, get 1 Wraith, and then transition out of there. And I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. And he's done pretty well with it before. I don't know if that's the recipe for success here, though. I would love to see him do more of this like vulture terrorist kind of style. It seems like those drops worked really well for him. Unfortunately, not well enough in game number 1, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. We don't know what's happening just yet.
Yeah, the vulture harassment was immaculate on Sylphid. So if he's going to mech, I would actually like to see +1 weapon again. Instead of going for actual goal timing, just sit in your base, build up those Goliaths, make sure you don't die to any mutas, then transition into some vulture harassment. Since they are able to 2-shot the drones, he should be able to get a lot of kills. So I would like to see that here. Unfortunately for him, Escalade is one of those maps. Look how far the third base is, regardless whether he takes bottom left or top middle.
Right.
It's pretty far to get a third base, and it's definitely not easy to get a 4th base. So I think that's going to be a little bit hard to defend going for mech there if he goes for a camp style, but we'll have to wait and see. Oh, he's mining more gas, so this might be 2 Fact Vulture run by. We might see Wraithman here.
I'd love to see that Vulture run by.
Oh, drone goes in. But he sees it now. He's going to see that the SCVs are on the gas. Did he pull him, though? He didn't pull him.
Oh, okay, well, that gives so much away right now. I love how the drone was just far enough above the middle part of the ramp to see the high ground and know exactly when to run in. So what, it dies to the Marine here. I mean, mission accomplished. You saw that there's gas still being mined. You know something is going to be coming your way, but what is the reaction for g0rynich?
Instant third hatch for him. Creep colony coming up to prevent vultures. He didn't go for a fast gas that is natural, so it's not 2 hatch play. So he's going to have killer econ. He's going to have so much larva here. All he needs really is like 6 hydras, put like 3 in the main, 3 at the natural, make sure no vulture drop can deal catastrophic damage, make sure Wraithman can't cloak and kill so many drones.
Yeah.
He's just going to have such killer econ versus a player that's one basing for so long. It feels like g0rynich is already in the driver's seat.
Yeah, this ain't a factory expand, guys. We are going way up the tech tree, and it better pay off because, I mean, we saw the Hydra printer go burr in the last game. Also, we printed out a few queens there, too. That was a little bit scary. But I having seen that gas early on, he can even scout the lack of a command center. He's coming in to verify that right now with a g0rynich, and he should be able to tell that there's absolutely nothing. He's going to see the starport there, and I think that's when you start to know that it's time to kind of bunker down.
Yeah, and he saw where the factory was. And as a Terran player, you build all your productions buildings right next to each other. So even though he didn't come in and see if there was a potential second starport, he knows that there's no second starport because it would have been right there. It's too close to the factory to be a second starport. So the Overlord does die, but that doesn't matter. To confirm that this is a vulture drop is amazing. Now he shouldn't take any damage. Honestly, he could think about taking a 4th base because there's really no threat of taking damage here. I love how he doesn't even have lair, because what does he need it for? Cloak's not coming. He doesn't need it.
You don't need lair to build rounds of drones, and he has done so much of that. The amount of drones he has on 2 base, insanity. Normally, you'd think that the Zerg player needs to get out there and try to take a 3rd base. Not necessarily, especially when he's down to 2. It makes it so much harder. Like, if you have 3 bases right now, the dropship can just fly around and really stretch your army pretty thin. Now, he's going to be kind of turtled up in his own base. There's 3 vultures out on the map, more coming in. And let's see how effective this is. Where do you go drop here?
He's Escalade. Oh, I love actually sitting the vulture here because it makes it think that a drop hasn't come yet.
Yeah, he hasn't seen the dropship yet.
Yeah,
I mean, he saw the oh wow, no way he just gets this off.
Well, there are 3 vultures here, but they run directly into some hydras.
Yeah, I mean, he does still have a ton of mines here. Let's see if he can focus down the mines. He does so, but the vultures are going to get behind the mineral lines. They haven't actually killed that many drones. He killed like 1 drone. He's going to try to micro around and take out a 2nd drone here, 2 down, but he just mines the ramp and runs around. And I mean, let's see if these hydras actually wind up dying to mines.
Well, he's going to get some drones here, but are they... Oh, Hydra gets taken out, so the vultures are actually dealing a lot of damage. But look at Mad's money right here. Despite dealing all this damage, floating a lot of minerals, this was actually decent damage, more than I actually thought. 2nd drop into the natural. Amazing. Instant drone pull there. So not going to get any kills, but drone pull, that's great. So really a lot of damage for something that I really thought wasn't going to deal any. He's transitioning into his natural. He has that up and running. Now the real threat is can he stop these hydras that have range and speed? There's really nothing here. But if he gets down some mines, but they're not going to lay any.
Yeah, not laying the mines. I mean, that's kind of like the only thing they need to do right now.
Oh my gosh.
This is so clutch. I think a large part of it comes down to just the mines. There's none back at home. Look at these hydras. They're starting to focus down. SCVs focus down. Vultures 1 by 1. The vulture count is still pretty good. And there's mines on the retreat path and the reinforcement path here too. Up, 1 mine hits. He's going to take a 2nd one. Takes out a couple of the hydras, and the boys are coming. We're pulling them just to try to fight off and hold on to this ramp.
Yeah, and that Overlord kill that he got in the beginning actually is going to save him the game right here, because we would have had vision on all of these Spire mines. Hydras would have taken no damage. Actually, he had an Overlord at top middle, but slow to react here. Actually, is this going to be a Goliath drop? What's this? He's even got double drop ship. So this is a Terran versus Terran style. Oh, is he going to drop here and try and take out the Overlord? Woo, he sees the dropship though.
Yeah, that would be a little crazy. Now, if he can pick this dropship off, it's huge. If not, he's got to worry about some backstabs coming through as these dropships come in. It's not just one, it's two. One getting off and laying mines, forcing a pull from the natural. That's like half your money. Can't use it anymore. Another one dropped off in the main, chasing down these drones before they can build any sunken colonies. The Hydra's trying to dive through, but there is a bunker on the way.
There's a Vulture in the main that Mad isn't microing right now. There's also Goliath drop coming to the main. Also, I think it's even just one Goliath, which is hilarious. Is it just one? It's 2 Marines and a Goliath drop.
Wow. A sick drop. This is SEAL Team 6 right here. It's like, all right, guys, your missions, should you choose to...
He's not mining right now.
What happened? I feel like he was holding, he wasn't losing anything, and now he's not holding and losing everything.
I gotta say, Mad's harassment has been on point all series long. I mean, game 2, obviously an absolute disaster, ended before it even got started. But this seems to be the vulnerability that you can exploit versus g0rynich, because he's having a real hard time dealing with drops that he saw coming.
Yeah, I don't get that. He saw the SCVs and the gas early, scouted the starport early. He even had overlords like out on the map early. He was mine sweeping. I'm like, I mean, there's a lot of signs out there. You know, you gotta see the broken twigs to track down what your opponent is doing. And here we come in again. So it's like, which drop do you stop, right? Is it the first one, second one, third one? Just pick any drop and stop it. He hasn't done it yet. Now we're gonna see more lost mining time. He does have a couple of mutas out, but these dropships still gets in, or not.
Even if he loses the dropship, it's okay, because more than likely he's going to get some kills here. Also, he confirms that there are mutas, and there's 1 drone, 2 drones, 3 drones, 4, probably going to get 5 drones here. This is amazing damage from MadiNho. Just absolutely crazy. I don't know if he actually has any turrets, though. I don't even know if he has an eBay. Okay, he does have turrets. So everything is amazing for him. He's building up his tank count. He even has Valkyries. So the mutas coming are just going to get absolutely shredded as soon as they come in here. This is a complete waste of units for him.
Especially if this is more of a commitment to mutas. I don't think that it is. But if there's a lot, yeah, they just get stopped dead in their tracks. Valkyries are pretty good against mutas here. It's only 5. You should be able to count that and kind of ascertain whether or not his opponent's super hard committed into mutas and figure out that maybe we don't need to overcommit to Valkyries. Definitely something you can do. And here we go. Some great shots off of the mutas, softening them up, pushing them away. And at least for now, securing Mad his 2 bases.
And the best part about this is having the Valks are really good versus Queens. So if there's ever a Queen transition and we have like 5 Valkyries, now that's a way to actually just insta-kill Queens. If they don't have any armor upgrades or if there's +1 weapon on Valks, they just shred through everything Zerg has in the air. So mutas come in here. He wants to see what this is. Am I on the brink of being attacked? He sees that only a couple more factories are just now started, so he's not going to be attacked just yet. But he's feeling the threat now. Remember last game, he had like 6 hatches. He's just now starting his 4th and 5th hatch.
Yeah. And he also sees 3 Valkyries. And once you see that count get that high, it doesn't take that much time to just add on a couple more out of your starports. And all of a sudden you're up to 5. That's gonna like 3 shot Queens, right? 1, 2. Well, it depends on the splash damage. But anyway, I don't know if you feel comfortable going Queens in this position because like the eco isn't there. Your opponent's way better prepared. I mean, this is the best position we've seen Mad in all series long.
Yeah, he's kind of stuck just going mass Hydras. Queens are so expensive, he doesn't have the econ to support them. Mad doesn't have a huge army just yet, so I think just going mass Hydra Man is his best option. Escalate is one of those maps where it has high, low ground, so if you can catch them on the low ground while you're on the high ground, you can have a favorable engagement that way. There's still a dropship alive somehow, so he's going to try and get some more harassment done. I like how there's a better spread of overlords this time, so he actually intercepts some of the vultures before they actually load up. But it looks like Mad has different plans. He's not even going to wait for critical mass. He's moving out with just a small army, but it is more than enough to actually kill what g0rynich has right now. Or maybe he's not. He is retreating back to his high ground.
Yeah, retreating back. I mean, we just got to stabilize. And I think the momentum is just so solidly in Mad's favor. Like, it's all he can do to defend this fourth base. g0rynich, he's running everything down here. His whole army just losing Hydras to mines in the middle. At this rate, I mean, Mad might not even have to push. He could just take a third base, but it looks like he is making that big move out of the map. He's about to hit his upgrade timing, and this Zerg either counter or flank. It's just not as strong as it used to be for the Scourging Scout. He's nothing.
I think he's just got a counter. Remember, he still has mid-right, so that's still a third base for him. He doesn't necessarily need bottom middle. It's just one hatchery. And Terran has no idea this SCV is actually crucial, seeing that the Hydras are going for a backstab. And Terran really doesn't have that much right now. It's like one tank Vulture drop to mid-right or into the main. Scourge, if they intercept this, might actually save the day for g0rynich. He needs to go for his attack, though, because he's losing his base for free, but not dealing any damage back to Mad.
Yeah, and when you're not reciprocating that, you're just kind of throwing units away, forcing in another full pull. I feel like, I don't know, oh my god, he's gonna get so many drones here. 1, 2, 3, it's like 4, maybe some more where the mine hits coming down. Oh my god, this is just exacerbating the issue.
Well, he loses bottom left. He's doing like he did last game, which is cutting off reinforcements and then trying to just overwhelm this army. Problem is that this is still 5 tanks, and they may have high ground advantage. He's going to try and sync up with the rest of his army, but it may actually get intercepted. Valkyrie's going to get an Overlord kill, maybe?
Say it ain't so. Well, with macro back up, and look at this, high ground versus low ground, but now it might not be forever. Getting up to the high ground there is, I guess you can call that the army for Mad. So he successfully kind of maneuvers that, gets out of dodge, saves most of his units here, but he's got bigger problems. An army of Hydras on the way, and he hasn't even landed that third CC yet.
God, our main is so undersaturated. Only 4 drones total. We just put 3 on gas. So really dismal econ for g0rynich right now. Third base is up for Mad. This Vulture attack actually is the first time that just gets flat out instantly denied. Oh, a big mine hit. How do 30 Hydras not kill it?
They're good. They're not that good. A Vulture somehow gets in? What? How does that thing just penetrate? First, I don't know. It's amazing to see Terran units do anything. What do you know? Third base up, ready, on the way. Mad in a fantastic position right now, up 30 supply, and not really even kind of breaking a sweat. He's hitting his upgrades this game. His macro looks good. This might be like the start to a little bit of a comeback.
Yeah, there's no mass queens this time, so there's no instant kills on these tanks. Even though g0rynich is down supply, that would be a way to come back into this game. But with no econ, he cannot transition into it. Actually, wouldn't be surprised if g0rynich just tries and goes for it. He knows that he's got to do something. It looks like he's gonna, no, he is just gonna back off. Look how many tanks there are. There's so many tanks right there. There's also so many tanks at the third base. He's still got his Valkyries alive, which is great in case there's ever any Mutalisk switch. He doesn't have to worry about that. Vulture's not having success now, so this is giving g0rynich a bit of breathing time to build up his econ.
Yeah, I think that's the real way to tell who's winning this game is, can g0rynich adapt and stop hemorrhaging drones? You just see 40 supply down. Okay, it's more like 32, but you get the idea. This is that number got turned upside down in the last game, and or game number 1, I guess. So to see Mad now solidly in the driver's seat, it's great for those tanks. They've got someone to guide them now out on the map, pushing through. Is this the push? Are we trying to do it?
This is it. He just hit +2, so it's go time, and he's near max. This is going to be almost impossible for Mad to act, or for g0rynich to actually stop. He's going to have to attack. No, this is not the move. He caught Goliath, but the problem is they're all funneling in.
Even without the tanks in siege mode, I mean, he's trying to trade Hydras into Goliaths, which in theory should be a favorable trade for the Zerg player. Trying to trade high ground into low ground should be a favorable trade for g0rynich, but it just gets evaporated in the face of 2 or 3. Is he 3-2 yet?
No, he just got 2-1, or soon to be 2-2. And this is just an almost unstoppable army. It's 150 to 100. No spellcasters from Zerg. He's building up Mutas. They do have +1 armor, so they are extremely tanky. But with Goliath support, I just don't see how you actually bust through. Now, if the Goliaths sit in front and take all the damage from the Hydras, and then all we have left is just a few Valks, maybe the Mutas can win, but
You really think of that? Like,
it's possible.
Okay.
If the Goliaths attack the Hydras and then it's just 3 Valkyries versus Mutas won't, or Valks can't kill +1 armor Mutas.
yeah, you can just split the Mutas so they don't take maybe as much splash damage.
He just scourged 2 of them?
Yeah. So all of a sudden we're dropping in the Valk count, running the Mutas all the way on in. Hydras, I mean, it's low ground versus high ground, so this is still not a great place to pick a fight, but the Mutas are actually getting a lot of damage done.
And he did exactly what I said. Goliath ran out in front. Hydra, sure, they all got eaten up there, but actually he pushes it back. So he's not actually going to die right here. This is great. He may even get some tanks for free.
Whew, I mean, any bonus tank you can take out really neuters this push. The Mutas worth their weight in gold and flappy, meaty skin, I guess. The other big characteristic of the comeback for g0rynich is stopping these vulture run-bys. This is, I think, the first one that's gotten in a few minutes.
Oh, an exposed third base.
Yeah, but if these get in and really make a dent in that drone count, I mean, good luck trying to come back from that.
Yeah, still 145 to 90 supply, so Mad's still in a huge lead. He is starting to take his 4th base, but it has been scouted. Mutas are flying up there instantly, are actually going to deny it, I think. So g0rynich is slowly coming back, but I still don't like the unit comp. It's so many Mutas now. There's so many, actually just so many tanks. If there's like 3 rounds of Goliaths, that's all he needs right now. He has so many tanks, he doesn't need to build any more tanks.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, he's already got the supply for 3 more rounds. +2 air carapace, I guess that's okay, especially against the splash damage from Valkyries. But, I mean, do you really want to continue building air units at this point? I mean, I guess the answer is yes. He's got a control group of Mutas coming on in. He's, like, pre-splitting them.
He also has +2 armor on the Mutas, so they're really tanky. Valks are going to actually just do 0 damage. They're just a non-existent unit. So he's just got to make sure that he can keep the Goliath count small the entire time. As long as he can keep doing a trade like he just had, maybe that's his way back into the game. Remember, he did just deny top middle. So we're getting into a situation like on Sylphid where Matt's only mining on 1 base. g0rynich now has bottom left too.
Yeah, really giving me those game 1 feels. Sneaking in back again with the Vulture terrorism. Nice Hydra block on the ramp. Kind of shut that harassment down, but still more and more drones getting taken out. 60 supply advantage now for Mad. He is crushing it in every possible way, but I mean, is there such thing as staying back in your bases too long at this point? I mean, he's already got +3 weapons.
Well, he doesn't want to move out and then get run over by 30 Mutalists. He does not want that. He's just waiting for vessels. Now that we see 1 vessel, it's probably actually all he needs. If he gets 2 vessels, it's lights out for g0rynich. It's gonna be too hard to split all the Mutalists up.
But my pre-split. I mean, if he does do that, it'd be a super Gosu move. I don't think that is in our cards. Complete block of Mutas. Oh no, watching the mines. He's gonna have to push up the ramp. Mine drag kills a couple of Hydras, but there's plenty more where that came from. Where are our overlords? He can't push up the ramp.
Not gonna be able to push up there. That means that top middle is gonna be secured for Matt. He's got so many tanks there, so many Goliaths. Now also has a radiate. He's got 3-2 upgrades, so he's just crushing it in that aspect. g0rynich still struggling, just still hovering around 100 supply. He just has a very weak army, and there's no hive. There's no hive tech. There's no queens. There's no nothing. It's pure hydras and mutas.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at this, like, you're right. The tech is just not there. Just now trying to go up for a hive, and I'm like, I mean, not only like are you still continuing to lose drones, even with a giant flock of mutas and hydras out there on the map somewhere. Oh, I mean, it's a struggle. I love the hard push.
Oh gosh, these mines are dealing so much damage, just getting so many hydra kills left and right. He barely manages to avoid that mine. There's so many turrets at the left side that a counterattack really shouldn't do anything. He's still got a lot of Goliaths here. Looks like g0rynich is gonna go for a base trade. That's not gonna work out.
No, I was gonna say, is that the right decision? You can't base trade through mines, siege tanks. I guess he has a few overlords, but those are gonna get picked off by Goliath. So he's just fighting a futile battle. You're gonna see a radiate. I don't know what's going on here, but he's just going to lose everything.
Yeah, this is going to be it. He's going to tap out. GG. So
Wow.
Mad brings it back. He is going to bring it back to a 2-1. We actually got a series on our hands to wrap it.
And that, I feel like that game was like a redo of game number 1, where g0rynich didn't get quite so far ahead. And for Mad, it felt like he was hitting his macro quite a bit. He really got a lot of damage done off of those, the Vulture harass that game too.
Yeah, I think after game 1, he's realized that, hey, the weakness here is the Vulture defense. So we just play the Vulture defense, slowly build up our army. We don't need to timing attack this guy. Just wait for our key upgrades, wait for critical mass tanks. That's the secret to success here. And I loved it. That was good execution. And he made it work even when he got the dropship scouted. Like, how does it happen?
Look, you can only pass up on so many like indicators of the build your opponent's going before you kind of get caught with your pants down there. And I'm glad it's a series. I think this was always going to be maybe our closest, most evenly matched game of the night, because Mad seems to be doing really well in BSL. It's his highest placement ever. And for g0rynich, he has looked very, very good. But I mean, all it takes is Mad kind of figuring it out, honing the build, or come back to happen. So I don't know. Let's see what our next map is going to be. Whiteout looks like it. What do you think about this TVZ, Nyokin?
Well, I don't like Whiteout, but every single game we've had on this map in BSL has been epic. We've had the Mad series. We've had TT1 with almost an unreal comeback versus Ultra. We had, I can't remember other games. Like, there was just crazy games on this map. So this should be another epic game. And this is another good map for Mech. So like everything seems to be lining up for Mad style. Like, it's crazy.
Although in the lobby, g0rynich is just discussing kind of like all the different ways, like all the different things that you have to defend against for Vulture harass, because there's like multiple entrances into all your bases, just like really, really complicated to hold off that much harassment. But I don't want to delay this any longer, because we've got another map coming up, Whiteout, for game number 4 to decide if g0rynich can take this match point and turn it into a series win, or if Mad can complete the comeback, bring it back, and take us to a game number 5. See, it looks like g0rynich is ready, but Mad is still on the way. What do you know? He's back just in the nick of time. And so I believe it is time to get into our 4th game of the series on Whiteout. All right, here we go. In the upper right-hand corner of the map, Whiteout in the blue, playing Terran from Norway. It is MadiNho.
And in the mid-left, as the red, 1 game away from taking the series 3-1, it is g0rynich. So Whiteout, another map that's great for Mech. You've got Goliath with huge range. If you ever have to fight in the trees, in the woods, you can actually range some of the mutas as they fly away.
It's the dark woods. Yeah, you don't want to go in there.
Yeah, so if we're going to go for Goliath timing, it's not horrible since they have huge range. But I think that we don't need to bother with that. Just stick with the Vulture harassment. If we think back to why is Escalade such a good drop map, it's because your main is freaking huge. There's so many areas that you can drop, and it's the same scenario here. So much surface area that you can actually drop on Whiteout that I would actually prefer him to go for it again. Maybe not one base drop, but like an expo drop would be great. Oh, first time we don't have a wall. So this might be bio play.
Yeah, I mean, that would be really a good way to switch it up. Can't pass up the opportunity to follow up on what Ariador is talking about. So in Norse mythology, there are signs of the end times called Fimbulvinter. And that's basically a big, permanent winter, and it signals that Ragnarok is coming. So because this map is Whiteout, obviously we've got game number 4 here. So we've got the winter before the epic Ragnarok that is our 5th game. So there's your Norse mythology lesson for the day, and why Whiteout is a cool map to play right here. But it might my entire analogy might fall apart if g0rynich just slaps him down here. So let's see what's in store. We do have gas coming in, even though there's not a wall. Is this just straight up 1-1-1?
It could be a 1-1-1 opener. It might be the Goliath play. It might be 2-fact Vulture. We do see that g0rynich is going for a 12-pool gas here. Now, in my experience versus ladder, this is probably the build I hate the most because the SCV gets pushed out so fast, just like in ZVP, and Protoss is in the dark. Now Terran is the one that has to figure out what is it. And now that you're opening with mech, if he goes lurkers, what's our counter to lurker? Do we have an academy?
No, we don't. We don't have one of those.
Do we have eBay? Sure, but we're gonna have to build turrets in places we don't have to. And since you don't know exactly what's coming, he could go lurker, and normally you would build tanks versus that. But he's gonna be obligated to build Goliaths. And we saw in the Flash versus Zero ASL, you know, it was delayed mech. He was opening it every single time. He just instantly died to Ling Lurker. So I'm a bit worried here if we see a Hydrogen come down that maybe Mad just insta-loses here because we have there's 2-fact, so we're going to have Vultures.
Yeah, I mean, actually on the other side, did we take out that scout? I think so. So, I mean, this with the lair coming up, we're going to see in mere moments whether it is that Ling Lurker style. I love it. We haven't seen it outside of Korea a whole lot. I don't think we've seen that in BSL yet this season. I mean, I think this is just going to be straight up 2-hatch Muta, so a little bit more normal. But man, that would be a 6 switch.
Yeah, it's 2-hatch Muta, and something interesting is Mad's continuing to build Marines, which is unusual because this is Vultures with no add-ons. So this looks like it's going to be a Vulture Marine attack at the same time. The Vultures can soak up hits versus the Sunken, but there's no, there's no medics here. So it's very confusing what this actually is. If these Lings just intercepted these Marines right here, they're insta-dead. It's 6 Lings versus 4. So a bit weird.
I feel like this is something you can only do on this map where you can...
Goodbye.
Goodbye,
Marines.
What if you tucked them in the mineral patches? Oh, God.
Oh, look at the timing. The Vulture's just barely...
What about my epic Norse analogy?
Oh, and it gets caught
also. Oh, no, he's going to kill the Vulture here, too.
And the Overlord doesn't see a command center, so he knows that this is a 1-base play. So now all he has to do is sunk in the net. He's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
He's going to be perfectly defended. He's got 2-hatch Muta with the fastest fire you can get. It's a 12-pool. There might actually only be 2 Goliaths. I don't even see an eBay.
Yeah, we got to get some Fs in the chat for our Terran representative here. He does have an eBay on the way. It's barely just now started. And let's see how fast, if he can surround these Vultures, that's actually insanity. He's microing them pretty well, but still taking a lot of damage. 1 Vulture dangerously low, but he's still taking out a bunch of the Lings. 1 Vulture goes down. He's got 1.5 left to hold the high ground against these Lings. And back home, I mean, how many drones are dying to Vultures right now? None.
Yeah, and g0rynich now officially confirms there's no command center. Now, actually building that many Lings is kind of iffy for g0rynich because his econ is extremely low. It's very, very low drone count. Only 3 at the natural. Not even mining gas at his natural. That's how all in he is. So the fact that the Lings only killed 1 Vulture, the question is it worth? Right? It's not like he has 3-hatch larva production. It's only 2, so he can't drone very fast. We know that he's building Mutas right now. So as long as Mad holds right here, he's actually in an okay position, but he needs to get a command center up.
Well, he needs to get a supply depot up. He's been supply blocked for like a solid minute. Okay, all right, finally. I mean, this is actually a significant supply block because this is right when Mutas are flying in, so you really got to pump out everything you can to hold these bad boys off. We only got 4 right now, but that's enough to pick off a Goliath or at least wound a couple or get into a very good position, waiting for more Mutas on the way. But this is still not great.
I wonder if g0rynich noticed this. There's no add-on to our factories. So that means there's no range. Goliaths are so weak without range. Now, g0rynich is going to come in here and see that the add-on finally, or no, he's not. But maybe he did realize that. And if he does realize that, just build 12 Mutas. 12 Mutas will just ransack Goliaths with no upgrades. So
yeah,
g0rynich is looking to be in a dominant position. We do see a Hydrogen. I would love to see Lurker transition. As a Terran player, when you're in this position, you're just scrambling to not lose. You're not thinking about, oh, do I need an academy for Comsat or anything. So going Lurkers, whether it even gets in deep into the main, doesn't even matter. He can just lay it outside of the net, and then Terran can never move out, and we can just power forever.
Or if you want to win the game, you just run the lurkers up the ramp.
Yeah, if you're in control, you just run into the main and kill everything.
A classic. I mean, the mutas didn't actually do that much damage. So for now, this is basically mission accomplished for the Terran. It's just like, okay, I lost all my early game stuff, but I didn't die. And so even though it's not really a fair math problem, the Terran player just gets to hang on for a little bit longer. Where's our natural expansion going to go?
Still no command center, and it's so hard to win versus Zerg without a Nat, and now you're okay. +1 or evolution chamber coming in. I am just constantly watching the cast of g0rynich. We don't see any mutas coming in or any more, so I am curious if he's upgrading lurkers, because lurkers would just absolutely be ridiculous in this specific scenario. It'd be probably just game ending. You build like 3 and just expand forever. But Mad has a decent army. It is like 10 Goliaths with range coming in. We do see the drone powering right now.
I mean, those Goliaths with range, it's just not going to...
Yeah, but there's only 7 mutas. So right now, he's okay. Of course, we have full vision. He doesn't know that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, either way, it feels like g0rynich just got a good build. If he, like, increases the number of mutas, like, drastically, that's one way to do it. The lurker switch, like you were talking about, obviously fantastic right now. I mean, this is not like it's a 30-base Zerg economy either, so definitely something to think about. The muta count is growing. The vulture gets picked off, but it will see that we're not staying on like a low muta number and like fast teching to something like, I don't know, hive immediately.
Yeah, it is, like you said, not 3-base Zerg. It is 3 hatch Zerg, but no third base. He is starting to build more hydras. He's got a good drone count now. Actually, if he makes an attack like he did on Sylphid, where he was attacking into that bunker and it doesn't work, you know, there's real comeback potential. There's not a lot of econ for him.
Yeah, true. Well, let's see what these mutas can get done in the main. Beautiful positioning of that the eBay, but it's not, unfortunately not enough. There's a few weird tricks you can do to get through that, but he was able to kill the turret, put that turret spinny guy out of his misery, and kind of open up a weak spot in the back of the base. So finally, the mutas are doing something. They just haven't done a whole lot this game.
Yeah, so Mad should have recognized that, hey, that muta count is way too low for this point in the game, and he really needs to get up a bunker. I think if he gets a bunker up and has even a somewhat decent repair, he's actually back into the game, because he's up 15 supply. I saw his armory spinning, so he's going to have an upgrade coming in.
We didn't forget this time.
So this is actually a manageable game, honestly. Is surprisingly, the econ is just really in shambles. Remember, I was saying those lings that g0rynich built in the beginning, they needed to do something other than kill one vulture, and now all of a sudden, you know, that's +1 armor mech right there. That's a strong upgrade. Maybe not right now, but get into +2. The mines all over the place confirm that there's no third hatch or third base, so Mad shouldn't be feeling that bad of a position.
Yeah, I dare say ahead. I mean, that's the thing about this point in the game, is that while both players are starting to kind of think through their transition strategy to get further into the late game and power up, like all of a sudden you miss the Hydra ball in the middle of the map, or the mutas just get in behind your mineral line without your army there, and you're like, oh, well, that's bad.
He killed the Overlord at the Nat again, so they're about to run into 500 mines. Like, there's no Overlord coming. I don't even think they have speed. So this attack can't happen.
Yeah, I mean, he also got vultures out, and even though they were picked off, inevitably the mutas were pulled back. The Hydra's pulled back, and even though g0rynich is expanding behind this, he's not dealing damage. Yeah, what are you gonna do? You gonna run through that? Oh my God! Get me out of here!
He's gonna keep going.
Go next fast.
Crazy.
No!
What?
Ah, my eyes! They ain't seeing the glory of the Lord. That's for sure. This is badness. Somewhere Game-O is twitching in his sleep right now.
Okay, well, if Mad didn't have a comeback yet before, now he's definitely in it, and instantly multiple factories.
Yeah.
Wow, that was very brutal. Those mines had a big connection, getting like 7 Hydras.
No, you were right. Picking off that Overlord is huge.
It's games, and now he has speed. Why?
I mean, good luck, buddy. We are moving out onto the map. You see all those Hydras die? It's time. Yeah. He's got 1/1, and I think +2 is somewhere.
So I don't think Mad should actually move out right now because
No.
we see the supply, but it's so scary to move out with 8 Goliaths and 3 tanks. He does have 1/1 now, so that's a good power spike for him, but very scary to move out with just 2 factories with 2 more actually building up. So he is going to expand behind this. I like this, even though he has built 5 factories. It's, you know, it looks like he's going to go for a timing. So I think he should start going for his vulture harassment instead of just, you know, going for an attack, really. Take the 3rd base, whiteout, he can defend this so easily. Even put tanks on the high ground and defend this position. This is one of the reasons I like whiteout. Now, it looks like g0rynich is setting up for another attack around the right side. You can see he's learned from last time because he's got overlords everywhere.
Yeah, so, you know, we checked that one off the list. You know, fool me once or twice or, you know, maybe 3 times there, but we learned our lesson. So the overlord spread is a lot better, but at the same time, like, I mean, is he going to be able to defend 3 bases against these speed vultures with mines everywhere? Like, I mean, we already know how much damage Mad can get done with these mines and vultures, and it looks like he's breaking through again.
Yeah, he found an exposed base at bottom left. There's 1 vulture. He doesn't care about that. And his hydras are across the map. I'm just hoping g0rynich doesn't tilt off and just go for an all-in counter right here, because he might do it. That's what a lot of players. Oh no, the position. Oh, it's a drop. So he's going to drop into the main, and this is actually a key position or a key spot to drop to because the armory is here. Now, unknowing to g0rynich, it's not like he's upgrading +2 weapon just yet because the science facility hasn't started.
Right.
But if +2 was like halfway done, that's a huge kill for him. Here he goes into the main, no units in the main. So
God.
He's going to supply block him forever.
Man, this is such a Zerg thing. It's like, what's that? I'm behind. I'm getting, you know, harassed by vultures. It's time. Just go for a drop, and he's moving out with the tanks even too. He does bring them back, but this is only 2 tanks, and this is infinity. Hydra's dropping out in the main. Now, there's so much damage being done on the other side, so this has to do a lot. Can he snipe these tanks off and wreak havoc in the main? He's not able to take out that final tank. The SCV's coming back and blocking, and doesn't look like that did what g0rynich needed it to do.
Okay, yeah, actually the drop did almost nothing. Killed like a turret and a few SCVs, got 1 tank. Didn't even pick off the armories, which most of the time would have been the big pickoff. And at the same time, g0rynich got counterattacked by vultures. They killed like the whole drone line at bottom left. He's gonna kill that. I pokes it,
no!
Picks it off and just leaves.
You didn't! Oh,
so it would have been different if he dropped and then like hit the 3rd base and got the command center, but the fact that he didn't do that either and then lost all of his drones, g0rynich is basically all in despite being on 4 bases.
The good old 4 base all in. Wait, I don't even know how that drone died, but diving in, sniping the 1 drone and then leaving, that is bad mannered. Oh, let it live. Just send a message. Be merciful. Jeez. So Mad is killing it right now. He saved his base from a crazy doom drop. He didn't even lose that much. He's got tons of mines out on the map. Vultures killing everything. Insane economy, and he's almost doubling up g0rynich in supply.
Yeah, he's got, oh, here we go. The Goliaths were out of position. The Mutas are coming in. There's so many free tanks. There's only 4 Goliaths, but it still pushes away these +2 armor Mutas.
Yeah, +2 armor is a big break point, especially if you can catch a base without Goliath support. Finally, they come in there with the Charon boosters, and they're going to be able to usher these Mutas back away. But he's going to see the Muta count. He knows we're going back into it. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's more Mutas on the way.
Now, Mutas have to have their eyes set on that armory. That's the only thing that you could possibly think about attacking right now. Now, if he can draw Goliaths and tanks into the main and then drop the natural, I would love that. But it looks like a vulture drop into the main.
How does he do
so many drones?
Where does he come from? Nobody knows. These are like the peoples from the Aegean Sea that showed up and took out the Ammonites. Nobody knows where they came from. He's trying to find a way to stop the drops, but he's just going to get rolled over.
He somehow sniffs out the Mutas because the Goliaths just moved into position here, and these Mutas aren't going to do any damage. Maybe they pick off a turret. Who really cares? The Hydras still aren't doing anything at the same time, so the Goliaths should be able to.
Oh god! I mean,
that's just the only thing lacking for Mad is the SV count in the main is extremely low. Everything else is amazing.
Yeah, but it's still nowhere near the drone count. I mean, he's gonna sack these Mutas to just deal any damage, picking off. Oh, actually, whoa, that was a bigger clump. I only saw a few Mutas selected, but that's a full clump.
drop into the natural. Now, it would have been awesome if he had like a lurker drop go at the same time, because then we would have wiped out the nat mineral line and the main mineral line. And all of a sudden, Mad's the one with a super low econ. Now, is this like 20 mutas? Maybe only 15. g0rynich somehow is doing a good job to keep Mad in his base. You would have thought that by now, Mad would have thought about moving out. He's got 2-2 any second now. Vessel first, the first vessel coming out. Here come those mutas.
Yeah, this is trying to pull it back, trying to snipe off anything important. Is that if that's the +2 upgrade, the spinning on that that armory, then that'd be huge to take out here. He realizes he's going to be able to beat the number of Goliaths, but he still can't pick off the armory.
Yeah, he doesn't get the armory, but he does actually kill quite a few Goliaths here. The mutas have +2 armor, so they're taking almost no damage. Avoids the irradiate also, but +2 has to be kicking in pretty soon. Now g0rynich actually has a good drone count across the board. Even though he's down 40 supply, he's doing a good job to stall the game out, and Mad is still stuck on 3 bases. The third base is a low mineral, low gas base. So it is getting surprisingly close in a game where I thought for sure g0rynich, he's going to hit critical mass and just run him over.
Yeah.
g0rynich is slowly creeping back into it.
Well, look, we just hit +2, so it's 2-2 for g0rynich. He does actually have now another round of Goliaths that didn't get picked off by the mutas. And even though the muta count is big and bad and scary, not as scary as the middle of the map. And that is where Mad is pushing into.
More vultures trying to deal some damage to mid left, but they're actually not going to find any success. Finally, the Hydras have done a good job to clear any vulture harassment. Now we have +1 weapon on the mutas. The Goliath count in the main is still very skimpy. Turret count also extremely low. This time, we may actually get an armory pick off. Bottom right is not spinning, so that's not a big deal, but it could have been a big deal. I think actually g0rynich might have done it, like actually recovered, but the main thing now for me is the vessel count keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And soon we're just gonna have unstoppable irradiates.
Yeah, regardless of what those irradiates go down on, whether it's like the inevitable, I don't know, lurkers, but most likely just the mutas. One irradiate just completely stops it in its tracks. Watch g0rynich have the sickest split, save his mutas instantly, and kill off the science vessels. I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. So let's keep an eye on the mutaflock, on the irradiates. Where are the science vessels? Oh, they're out there. There we go.
Yeah, he just needs to scan and find the army, and then just go irradiate these mutas. Right? Oh man, he's right over top of some mines, so he sees it. Great irradiate on that mutalist. Great split,
insta split. Beautifully done there. I mean, it's hard to do with so many mutas, and then it's also hard not to just bring the muta right back into the group when you move them again. So sacks the muta, stops the irradiate, but he didn't kill the science vessel. So we're still juicing up and expanding behind it.
Fourth base going up for Mad. He's in the trees now. He's in the dark woods. He's trying to find the best angle. g0rynich, the best angle for him is to just avoid it, but I keep seeing mines everywhere. I'm just worried that we're going to have another huge mine hit. Overlords aren't in position, at least in the center. Vulture, of course, it's at bottom middle, denying drones from mining there. I love how Mad's defending while also attacking at the same time. I think g0rynich is just going to try for a counter. It's not going to work, but maybe it will. The vessels are all at bottom right.
Yeah, and these are still +2 carapace mutas. Like, I mean, the tank.
Here he goes.
I mean, this is it. Pre-irradiate, but I think that muta might actually just die preemptively. Nope, it's still alive. Gets split out. An arc of Hydras trying to get through everything. The mutas dive the backline, and the Hydras try to take out everything in the front, but they just can't do it. The line holds for now. Reinforcements streaming in from the bottom. It's another complete arc of Goliaths, and the Hydras are dropping one by one. This is the last-ditch effort from g0rynich to bring the series back and take it for Russia, but Norway fighting back, and Mad crushes it, takes out g0rynich, and takes us through the Fimbulvinter into the final epic game of 5 of this series. You couldn't ask for a better way to kind of write this story. So sick to see Mad come back.
Yeah, to bring it back 2-2 with that opener. Remember, he lost 4 Marines and a Vulture.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like that. And we don't have a nat. We were going to fact. It's like, how do we actually recover from this? But g0rynich not able to get any damage done with his mutas. The Hydra attack is what did it.
That was game changing.
Yeah.
When you loaded up all those Hydras and like carpet bomb the main. You're holding your breath. Like, is it enough? Turns out 2 siege tanks and a huge wall of SCVs. Great way to hold on there. Wow. And after that, I felt like the upgrades were never really contested. He was pretty on point with those for the most part. Super good job holding back, playing that Turtley Terran style, and no queens. We didn't see any way to deal with the mech style like we have seen in the first couple of games. And so, yeah, g0rynich kind of got stopped in his tracks a little bit there.
Yeah, and to be up 2-0 and now on the brink of being eliminated, you know, it's a feels bad moment. g0rynich,
Yeah.
Also, this is a personal thing. When people delay the game, like just going to the bathroom here, actually just makes me really angry. Because it's just like, I just want to play you, man.
Yeah, we got to go next.
I want to get revenge right now. So this is a subtle thing that would tilt the hell out of me. So it didn't look good for Mad in the first 2 games, but now we found our stride. We found the vulture play, man. That's the secret. You know that g0rynich is going to be practicing versus that after this series, regardless whether he wins or loses. So, and now we're on another good map where we can camp. It feels like every map is designed for Mad in this series.
There was this sick stream that I think it was J-Dong did after he lost in one of the last ASLs he played in, where he talked about how there was this crushing game where he lost to like a Reaver drop that got by Scourge that were just chilling there. And he said that he kind of vowed that would never happen again. We got to see g0rynich have the same attitude towards this vulture harass, because it's just killing him. They're getting in every time and really giving Mad way more life in these games than he should have. But it's tied up 2-2. And if g0rynich can win the first couple of games, he can do it again. But Mad's brought it back this far. I don't think anybody believed that Mad would eclipse his highest placement of the round of 16, make it to the round of 8, and maybe even make it to the semifinals. For g0rynich, he knows what it's like to be there. He is, I guess, the favorite coming into this, but it's all tied up now. So while we wait for Mad to finish up his 30 seconds of the hand dance where you're doing the 30 seconds, I memorized this. I'm so good at it. I don't even need 30 seconds anymore. You do like the regular wash, then you do the backs of the hands, and then you do like the fingertips, and then you do the thumbs and the wrists, and you're good.
And then you say, "Hey, Macarena," right? Like
that's the Corona dance. It's so good, and that's what he's doing. That's why he's back from the water closet at exactly 30 seconds. My man. The map is Clay Fields to decide which player will be the first to enter the top 4, the semifinals of Season 9. The Bombastic StarLeague, our players are ready, and so are we. Let's get into game number 5. And away we go into the upper left-hand corner of the map, Clay Fields. In the blue, playing Zerg from Russia, it's g0rynich.
In the bottom right, in the red, he's making a very nice comeback. It is Mad. So, I mean, it's got to be mech, right? Like, there's no reason to mix it up. And I don't think you should be aggro either, or do like an aggro play like an 8-Rex. Like Oya was setting up models for the proxy. that was a pure setup. I loved it. But I don't think we should do that here, because now g0rynich has showed he'll open pool with the 12 pool and 9 pool. No need to risk it. And I think, even though I haven't played Clay Fields, I think you can wall the nat here. So again, unless this is the 9 pool and he goes command center first, feels like Mad's just got a great position again.
Yeah, this is sort of like a fighting spirit replacement. Let's see if he's going for the wall. Yep, gonna start it on the high ground there. And I like what you're saying is as long as you don't go for the super vulnerable, like a fast expo, like a Rax expand or just CC first, I guess you're okay. I want to see the 3 hatch before pool, really get into the greed here. I mean, maybe that makes him more vulnerable for vulture harass. I don't know. I'm just thinking. Either way, we're still scouting wrong, so not doing that correctly at all this series. But the cross scout from the drone is going to see it.
Yeah, cross scouts can confirm there's no 8-rack shenanigans, and it is going to find him first at bottom right. Now, Mad is unfortunately going. Oh,
wait, what?
Why are we scouting the center? What?
Is that where we place our proxy hatchery?
Yeah, what? So, luckily, now he changed course. Well,
what are we doing here, Nyokin?
Well, he's going to find him second now, I guess. But drone comes in, sees that there is a wall. So this is going to be a gas standard opener for Mad. We do have 12 pool or 12 hatch from g0rynich. I would really like to see Mad cut this drone off, just build up a wall and lock it in his base, but he doesn't do it. Not a huge thing, obviously. Now, we saw last time that he saw fast gas, he ended up going for a 3-hatch play on Escalade. This time it is, again, 2-hatch, faster extractor this time. So more all-inish, but it's cross-spawn. So mutas aren't going to get there extremely fast. So this is a bit, it's a standard opener, but I'm a kind of surprised that he went for the fast gas.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's done that almost every game. I think there's, the one exception, but the fast gas coming through here, I mean, it feels like this is setting up for another vulture drop. I don't want to count my vultures before they're hatched here. So let's see what's coming in.
All of the maps, Whiteout, Escalade, this map, all have huge areas to drop on. And that, again, is we're seeing 100 gas being continued to be mined from Mad. It doesn't necessarily have to be drops, but I'm going to agree with you. I think that this has got to be dropship play. We would have seen a second factory by now. But it is cross spawn this time, so it's going to take forever to actually get across the map. The SCV continues to be alive, so there's no Hydra Den lurker transition coming. It is just going to be standard Spire again. Now the question is, versus a Spire opener versus a drop, is will the dropship get there in time? That's always the main question. Was that a second? No, I thought a second SCV was coming out to build a second starport, but it is going to be drop again.
Yeah, no, wishful thinking about those raids. You're right. The timing of the dropship is kind of everything. I think I mean, you tell me as a Terran player, when you go for a drop right now, you got to know, do you hit before that Spire sends whatever it is to go kill your dropship? You're feeling really good. If you miss it, then that's not enough.
Hydra Den at the natural. It has not been seen. Ooh. This is very, very sneaky. Now, g0rynich is going to have almost enough money for the Spire, so he needs to build a Spire now and show it, and then cancel it. No, do not build it there at the natural. Build it in the main. Yeah, there it is. Now he showed it. Oh, this is great.
So he shows Spire. Watch him block on the ramp. Oh, I thought he doesn't go down. Oh my God. This is the perfect way to sell. He saw it with the vulture. Never mind.
Okay, so he still sees it with the Hydra Den. We, of course, we don't have the production tab, so we don't know if this is lurkers or not. But the fact that this SCV is still alive is crazy, because now canceling the Spire kind of ruins everything.
Yeah, is that a beast
like
SCV?
It's so far along that he's now kind of obligated to go for it. Now, what Mad needs, straight one base vessel.
Wow, are we doing it? Do we need to mine minerals from another location?
So
he's not canceling the Spire either.
We're going straight one base play. This is very... You know what I actually would have liked here was Ling came up and spotted that there's no add-on.
Yeah.
So I would have liked to see the add-on because it looks like a drop. Now, he's not going to keep the Ling alive long enough to see if tanks come out, of course. But if you go into tank, vessel, marine medic on one base with like 3 tanks, that's actually a very dangerous push. But the fact that he has no add-on, now we just have bio with vessels. I'm not too sure how you transition from this exactly, because like if they go mass sunken, how do we actually bust it? But with tanks, you could actually potentially bust it. So very unusual, honestly. It looks like Mad is sniffing out that this has got to be a lurker because he actually has a bunker at his entrance.
I mean, when you scout the Hydra Den with the vulture, that's pretty much what it looks like. So you can't really blame him for the read, but I mean, when you're one base in this long, you kind of got to think about how to, I don't know, do something. He is airtight back at home, so he's building the bunker. I wouldn't even be surprised if he has a staggered bunker. He's got the science vessel out. Man, any lurker shows up anywhere on the map, it's not going to be long for this world. But I don't know if g0rynich necessarily has to commit to that.
Yeah, so mutas are just going to be, kind of run around by this one vulture. So, the point of going mutaless is to deal some harassment damage. If they just chase the vulture forever, that's a huge win for the Terran. Like, you don't hurt my econ, you can chase the vulture forever. I don't really care. Now he is slowly building up the vessel count. Second and third barracks coming in. He's actually going to have +1 weapon pretty soon also. So this may actually just be some weird 1-1
You tell
one
me
base
more about
play.
this.
I don't even know what this is. Scourge are going to come. Okay, he does confirm that there's a vessel, but the Overlord overlooks the Nat and sees there's no command center, right?
Yeah.
So he knows that this is just an all-in.
I mean, this is really, really interesting, especially with that third base coming up. All g0rynich kind of needs to do is hang on, but this is going to be super potent. We're going to have the irradiate potential. It's going to be hard to hang on with lurkers if those are even out there anyway, or anywhere because of the detector. So double science vessels now. We're going to have scan. I mean, this is as one base as it gets. I'm so excited to see if Mad can pull it off with this one crazy base push.
And now he's going to put add-on onto this factory. And this is what I was saying. Like, if we had the add-on earlier and built up our tanks, now look at his money. It's extremely low, but we could have had one more tank by now, maybe two, if we had cut like SCVs or something. But now it's actually going to take him a long time to build up tanks. They take 30 seconds. One tank, you're not feeling confident, maybe two. So at least a minute and a half before he moves out.
You know, I don't know exactly how long it takes a base to pay off for itself, but at what point were we better off just building an expo and kind of getting to the same point? This is just going to be such a weird unit comp to shove out across the map into a Zerg player that has already seen it coming for the most part and had time to prepare.
Yeah, but if we look at what Zerg has, it's 7 Hydras. Like, there's no lurker tech. There's 4 mutas. Okay, there's lurkers, but he's had 3 vessels for an eternity. So he can irradiate literally every single Zerg unit right now. Like, this is actually a very cool build, but the only thing that I would have liked more was to get the factory with tanks faster. Other than that, this is a very interesting build. And I actually don't even mind him going for one base, because since he didn't know if it's lurkers, imagine if you take the command center on the low ground and they go Ling lurker.
Yeah,
he would have had
run over.
You just die because he has 1 Rax pumping out what, 1 Marine at a time in a Vulture. Like, you just insta lose. So here comes Mad. It's actually not a huge bio ball, and this makes me even more nervous because this is a vessel that has 2 irradiates. The Lings and the Mutas should be able to allow the Scourge to get access onto the vessel, but maybe not.
That's a big maybe. Okay, first irradiate goes down there.
Oh no, that's a waste. That's on a Hydra that is just going to morph into a lurker.
Yeah, who cares that? He's going to run up and see that the lurkers are well positioned to defend the third base. And I mean, the timer's kind of on. When you're one base as a Terran, like you got to get something done. And even though he's expoing behind it, that is just shockingly delayed.
Well, it looks like he baited Zerg into thinking it's only 1 vessel. I'm not too sure, because here come 2 more vessels. They have 3 available irradiates. He needs to be careful not to lose them, though, because his... Wait a second. We've got mech bio, because we've got 2 fact in the main. We've got 3 barracks. We've got an armory coming down, so we're going into a mech switch.
I mean... You know, you used to switch into mech by going super hard bio early, lifting off your racks, and then building a bunch of factories. This is definitely not that. This is like the smoothest pivot into mechs that you could kind of go for. And I'm not talking about TFT. I mean, more and more irradiates coming down, taking out the lurkers at the front. I mean, Matt is playing this like so slowly, but I mean, does he have the economy to do that?
Yeah, if we look at the supply, g0rynich was down in supply for the majority of the game. Now he's back up to even. Mad, a lot of supply is going into these vultures, which, you know, is kind of not useless supply, at least not in the hands of Mad, apparently.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, it's kind of just dead supply after you lay down the mines. Now, if we're going to go into mech, we're going to have big econ to support it. So we need to get a third base pretty soon, especially since g0rynich already has a third base. This bio ball is so skimpy. If g0rynich detects it, he should just surround it and kill it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like that's kind of what's coming in here. He's got some Zerglings on the flank, but they actually head in a little bit early, and that means that these Marines might be able to kind of flank around. Muta's coming through there, only a couple of irradiates, and these Science Vessels might actually get Scourged. They do get taken out, even with that irradiate in the front line, chasing down all of Mad's units. No Mads in the middle of the map, and now there's no Mad left. The bio ball gets taken out, and g0rynich crushes it.
Yeah, he overwhelms the army easily. He does take quite a few lurker losses, but eliminating the vessels, that's 3 down now. That's going to give him confidence to take his third base. But my question is what are these upgrades for in the Zerg base? Is it for Hydra damage? Is it armor? Is it Ling damage? What is it exactly? Because Mech, usually you want to get those Hydra upgrades. Looks like he's pouring out more Hydras. Now he can confirm that it's a Mech switch. Barracks being floated across the map. Now I'm worried that we have mass Vulture, not even mass, versus a lot of Lings and Lurkers. There's also Mutas here. How does he actually defend this? Okay, he just has 5 million mines.
Yeah, I mean, the mines are the lifeline, right? Let's see if this science has to get a radiate off. No, just checking. Yeah, the mines and the big fleet of vultures are sort of the only thing kind of keeping any semblance of map control here for Mad. He does actually have, what's that, a radiate on the Overlord? Nice. Getting that hashtag value. Not really. The Muta's doing a good job trying to reclaim control of the middle of the map from these vultures. I think it's so classic to see Mad use vultures to kind of get himself back into a good position in this game.
Yeah, you can see he's trying to find the expansion that has the exposed drone lines, but it just doesn't exist right now.
Yeah?
Almost catches mid left, but I'm still worried that we don't have a third command center. Remember, he went bio initially on one base, so his econ's really lacking. He got, I think, +1 weapon on his bio, which he's not going for anymore. His armory upgrades are delayed, finally catches some mutas, but that's going to be a vessel going down.
I love it when we kill vessels with mutas, man. That's that big muta energy. He's going to take out almost all of the vultures, so really limiting that kind of marauding force out on the middle of the map. Taking control means that he might be setting up for another base down there. The drone count looks, I guess, okay, and the SCV count's still only mining on 2 bases, so there's only 1 turret here.
Yeah, only a couple turrets. Goliath pops out just in time. Now, that would be something, if I was playing Zerg, I would be like, okay, that's a win condition right there, because that armory, so far out there. If we just jump on that when they're going mech and we pop +2, almost game ending. So I would expect to see g0rynich go for a muta switch at some point. Maybe like 20 mutas is enough to focus it down pretty quickly. He's also killed off so many vessels now that he doesn't necessarily have to worry about mass irradiate. So I would like to see him actually go for mutas right now. That would be amazing for him. It looks like Mad is, damn, he's on 6 factories on 2 base, and his main's almost mined out.
The madman, literally. Dude, this is Mad. I love watching his style and approach to this. It doesn't always make sense, and yet he wins with it. And he's won twice when I think a lot of people might have underestimated that. Now, pushing out too quickly with that tiny ball of Goliaths is super risky. But I love how much confidence he has in the minefields to slow down g0rynich pushing right now. So he's kind of forcing him to pull forward and fight into these mines, even the ones on the high ground. But I think he's really learned his lesson about pushing through minefields from the last game.
Yeah, and this time, Vulture run by is not going to work. There's Hydras all over the place. There's Lurkers set up already. Queens have come out. So this time he is actually going to be able to pop these tanks immediately. They're going to act like the vessels for Terran. Oh, no mine hits this time. Mid left is up. There's no drones there. So everything is going perfectly for g0rynich. He just has to avoid a disaster of running into the mines, really. And I think he's just got it. There's no econ for Mad. That's the thing. If we had 3 base or 4 base, for sure, I think Mad is doing a fantastic job. But now with no econ and losing all those vessels, like, we're going to be depleted in the main and gas pretty soon. It's 15 minutes.
Ooh, yeah, I mean, contrary to popular opinion, Terran 2 base does not last forever. And that's why there's a command center on the way. He can lift up one of the CCs when he finishes mining out, like his main. And this is Clayfield, so you get the 3 bases with a pretty easy way to protect them with that high ground right outside the Nat. So on the other side, kind of taking a stock of the Zerg situation, you can see that we're really starting to explode out onto the map. We've got bases on our entire corner. We've got Hydras spread out to stop the plague of vultures from getting in, and maybe pick off things like that science vessel. But in the middle of the map, you can start to see these mutas a little bit unattended. I don't know if that's the fights you want to pick.
I think this is an okay fight. We need D-Matrix, though. The army went unscouted, really, and now Matt has gotten into a decent position here. Oh, no, here come the Queens. Do they have energy, though? Okay, they do.
Yeah, I think they did, but he didn't see any tanks. He just ran in, saw no tanks, and now here we go. Here comes the spawn brutally.
Oh,
We're getting one. He's had time to clone them onto the tanks, I think. Radiates are coming down. Can he is brutling these tanks in time? 1, 2, 3. And I thought he had one more, but he actually doesn't. And that sole survivor, the tank, gets off another shot, but it's not enough. And Mad loses his whole army there, but he's got more out on the map.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Mad, losing that is going to allow g0rynich now to secure mid-left easily. He's up 25 supply now. Feels like that was the game changer for g0rynich. If he was ever on the brink of actually losing a base, now he doesn't have to worry about it. He's got 5 bases. Mad just now taking his 3rd base. His main's mined out, so he's still back down to 2 base. Meanwhile, there's just so many units for Zerg. He has so much econ. He's got good upgrades. Plus 2 kicks in for Mad, but no armor. So they're going to be very... he's going to back. I think he just gets overrun right here. There's just too much.
Yeah, this actually could be the end of the game. It's this tiny Terran army in the middle of a very dark and scary wasteland. Land a mine. Oh, takes out a lurker, and actually you might get the second one. It pops too. A big mine with the lurkers getting taken out, but look at this arc of Zerg taking out the tanks. They siege and sacrifice for the rest of the Terran army to pull back through the choke point. Mines in their way and no overlords to stop or to take them out. And man, the minefields, this lifeline allowing Mad to hold on for a little bit longer.
Yeah, mid-left, still no drones saturated over there. So still basically 3 base mining. Drones at top right are mining though. And now you can tell that Mad's getting desperate because now we're starting to see the dropship play again.
Yeah.
The problem is that queens are already out. They're already banking up energy. The fact that he was able to afford queens, deny this push, that just means there's going to be more queens the next time he comes. So this is going to be very... Oh, there's nothing there, so he's going to go to the natural.
Oh, God.
I actually don't think it got scouted. Despite it running over all these units, he didn't see it. This is what he needs to get back.
How does he do it? Look, can this be my like millionaire lifeline? Can I just like phone a friend to make Mad get my vultures into every base? He's going to kill so many drones here. Yeah, disgusting.
He just plopped one at the natural. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to get this whole line right here. He goes in the main, kills that. 4 drone kills at the natural with 1 vulture. It's like crazy. Also forces a full drone pull from the main. So now he's not, and now he's going to go back to the natural. He's like, no, let me finish the job
The
here.
hashtag value here. Even, so it takes, I'm not sure about the upgrade breakpoint, but yeah, he was just able to slaughter the drone lines. This is 3-1 with, or I guess that's 1-3 upgrades for Zerg. So these are tanky Hydras. Not that that will help them tank the tanks as Hydras. They will still pop and die, but it's still, like, g0rynich just has such a good position right now. He's up 10 supply, which should never really be the case. And he's expanded to now 5 almost saturated bases. So, ooh, he does need to kind of coalesce his army a little bit. He seems to be kind of trickling it off.
Yeah, he does need to just get up a consolidated army. And even though he only has +1 weapon on his Hydras, Terran has no armor upgrade. So actually, he's ahead in that aspect. So having +3 armor here is actually really nice for... Oh, God, that's not something you want to see as a Terran player. So many queens. I don't even think we have... Yeah, I don't even... There's even more on the right side. We don't even have this many tanks. There's like 5 tanks because he's so gas-starved. Yeah, actually 5 or 4.
We're cranking it. They're not even all siege. We're cranking it back to game number 1, where the queens, the Hydras, the bears, oh my, just overwhelmed anything. Our cleans will blot out the sun. He definitely does. Now he can't click on the tanks underneath the eBay and barracks below. So beautiful positioning, really helping Mad hold on to this. I mean, he's fighting into a choke point.
The tanks on the high ground at the 3rd base just dealing so much damage.
He couldn't kill them thanks to the floated buildings.
9 kills on that tank actually holds very easily in a fight that normally in Zerg versus Terran you'd see like, oh, 2 tanks, just leave Terran. You can't stop
and this
mass
is
Hydras.
+3 weapons, no armor. We don't need it. We're just killing stuff out there. And I mean, wow, never count these dastardly Terran players out.
So the main of g0rynich didn't have good drone saturation. So even though there's 5 bases, look, there's 4 drones there. Mid left doesn't have any drones, I don't think. Okay, it does have good drones.
A few.
So he's still got good econ. The queens still have like full energy because we only casted Broodling like 3 times. So there still is the threat of mass queens picking off all these tanks. Is Mad gonna, okay, I like this play. Just sit and take his 4th base.
Yeah.
Just slowly delay the game. So 4 base Terran, crazy strong. He does need to get another base top right pretty soon. But Clay Fields has so many bases here. Maybe he tries and goes, but oh no, here come the queens to mid right.
Yeah, I mean, they're on the way. Now, these queens are not super scary to me because I think that as long as g0rynich stays home, he can do those. Actually, no, he's not floating the buildings anymore. If he pops those 2 tanks at the entrance,
Yeah, he's going to pop these easily. Now, can he get any of the queens? Just getting any of them would help drastically. Now, can he just bust through the natural? Because the third base, we're not getting through. The tanks are too strong. Oh, he's going to go to the third base again. There's only 2 tanks, though.
yeah,
He doesn't know it.
They are underneath the buildings to protect them, but they're going to get aggroed by the Hydras, even with mischance. He's actually targeting down the eBay.
Mad's microing his vultures and not sending back any of his units to defend. So this third base is going to get ransacked. Drones are going to get killed. But that's not a huge deal because he has so many bases available. Hydra's on move command.
Uh-oh. I mean, are we just going to throw this whole thing away? When are we broodling the Goliaths? Like, we just got to get him out of here. But finally, an undefended, defenseless base. It's almost the same thing. Is he just barely going to win that fight with Hydras?
Yeah, he does actually win the fight with Hydras, not move command. And I saw the SCVs at the third base of MadiNho. It's non-existent floated command center. Don't even know how many SCVs has his natural. Looks like he's not mining at his natural.
Where's that queen? CC's in the red zone.
That's it. He's not mining. This is our entire army. Tanks get broodling. g0rynich is going to take this series. He just has too much.
Yeah, it's the broodling's not even dying. That's when you know it is over. I'm waiting for the broodlings to try to kill the command center, and then we have the best. But I think you really got to see the writing on the wall at this point from Mad. It may describe his attitude after making it all the way to the game number 5, but ultimately, his world is about to come to an end here. All the tanks just get broodling over and over and over again. Queens doing what queens do best, and that is making sure there's no tanks out there anymore. So, I mean, the third base was ravaged. Doesn't matter how many vultures you drop, how many of these Viking longboat raids you pull off. I don't know if you're coming back from this.
Yeah, just no way to come back. He's getting more than doubled in supply. 5 base Zerg versus really no base Terran. SCVs are going down left and right. Queens still have energy. Like, that's the crazy thing.
Yeah, how has there just not been that many tanks? I mean, obviously he's prioritizing other things. Oh, he parasites. I thought he was just going to broodling the Goliath, but no, parasites it, kills it off immediately. So it still can't kill that tank underneath the barracks. There finally gets it, and that means that these Hydras are killing everything. That does it. GG, well played. Mad taps out, and g0rynich will reprise his role from the previous season BSL to make it into the top 4 once again.
Yeah, but it was not without a fight from Mad, who was down 2-0, really had amazing comebacks. And the vulture play was crazy. He flat out multitasked g0rynich in a couple of games. Easily just flat out outplayed him. So a bit unfortunate to see Mad just get knocked down there with a very unusual build. That was very weird.
He was like one base for a while and then like switches into like this hybrid mech, then transitions to full mech. I'm like, okay, I mean, it looked good for a while.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go with mass vessel, tank, and bio and push through. There was a point where there was 7 Hydras. That was it. That I was like, okay, so we just win here? There was 3 vessels. They had 5 irradiates. It's like, what? Like,
yeah, that vessel count was really worrying. And then he gets 2 of them scourged instantly and only has 1, which can't stop the lurkers. And you're just like, wait a second. That was an incredible series. What a way to start off the playoffs, the round of 8. Now, I heard a rumor that we might get a chance to hear from one of our players because we are doing the round of 8 live for you guys. I don't know if you didn't notice that there was no worker count or you couldn't see the, where the players were looking or whatever. We're doing it live for you guys out there. So hopefully you appreciate BSL. BSL's never ending commitment to increasing production value here. So, if we do get a chance to hear from either these players or the players in our next match, regardless, we do have one more best of 5 immediately after this series. It's going to be Bonnet versus TT1. So if that's what you tuned in for, stick around, and that will be coming up immediately after this series. So it looks like we do actually have an interview with g0rynich coming up. So we're going to add him on in here and hear what he has to say about a series that might have been a little bit closer than he expected it to be. So looks like he is joining, and we'll get him in here for an interview.
Yes, I can hear you well.
Okay. All right. So we've got g0rynich on the line to talk to him about that nail-biting series versus Mad. So first of all, congratulations, g0rynich. You've advanced on to the top 4. What was your mindset like going into this series? Did you feel confident against Mad?
Thank you for congratulating me. Sorry for my accent. Russian cast and Russian talk will be better. My English is poor. What can I say? I prepared well with Krayok, with Kogit, and with Mr. Ultra for this series. Thanks a lot for them. They and Mr. SPX, surely. They showed great games and showed me how to play against Marines, vessels, battle cruisers, but not against mech. Nobody played mech, and Mad's style is kind of weird because he never attack, he never use timing attacks like mass tanks. He just sit down and wait till his upgrades are ready, his economics are very great, and he just push with his limit. So I was not so good prepared against this, and his vulture harass was really, really great on both maps, which we played, like Whiteout and Escalade. So he did well, I think, but last game he made strategy from maybe 2006, maybe 2005, one base push with Rhines and vessels. I really played a lot against this strat in these days, so I think my opening was very, very, very good, and a much more economics value gave me victory last game. But
hello. Now, yeah, kind of interesting that g0rynich was able to use that 2007 WCG Russian Championship experience here in 2020 to take that game. Now, explain to us the thought behind these Viking longboat vulture raids. How do you get the vultures into the bases? What's your secret, Mad?
Well, if you ask Julia or g0rynich, the secret is map hack. So just avoid the overlords, burrowlings, burrow lurkers, 12 hydras trying to catch my dropship, and it's pretty easy.
Well, that series didn't look pretty easy because you actually dropped the couple of games early on. Were you like worried? Was the Bacardi kicking in at that point? Like what was going into your mindset? How'd you make a comeback?
I'm kind of glad the games are over now because the Bacardi is quite kicking in. Like I can feel my chin bones tingling. But after losing 2-0, I was like, I didn't really want to lose 3-0. And I told my friends I wasn't worried about losing. It was how I was losing because there are so many people watching and I don't want to be like humiliated. But the second game, that rush, like a part of me was saying it's coming, but yet I had a greedy opening, and I think g0rynich kind of predict I was going to wall in and do a greedy 14 command center or something.
Yeah, so tell us about your build on the last game, because you were down 2-0, but then you start having this crazy multitask with the vultures. Like it seemed like vultures flat out were just winning you the game. And then you decided to completely change it into this one base play. So was it designed, were you planning it on this map? What was the reasoning after having such success in game 3 and 4?
I haven't planned any builds on any map. And Clayfields, that's the first time I've been playing this map in BSL. But I don't know, because g0rynich has been making mutas all the games, so it was either Vassal or Fast Valkyrie build that Flash has been using in the ASL. But I've been trying the Valkyrie build versus g0rynich on ladder and some friendly games, and it doesn't work. So I was worried since I didn't really know the build. I know Vassal build, but g0rynich never attacked me with his mutas. So it's kind of useless.
I noticed the vessel count was looking pretty scary, and then a couple of them got scourged, and all of a sudden, like there was just like one lonely vessel with your units in the middle of the map, and it didn't look so good then. So I guess I'll get your thoughts, since this is the last time we'll be seeing you in BSL. I mean, I think this is actually the farthest you've ever made it in BSL before. You think you are playing better now than you've ever played before? What do you think about your experience in BSL this season?
It's hard to say if I'm playing better or not, because it doesn't matter. Each group I face Terror, so as long as I don't lose against Terror, I advance, because that's pretty much
okay,
the
all right.
recipe.
I'll make a note for season 10, if you're able to make it into that. See if you hit Terror or not, and then that'll tell me how to make my predictions. But
I think I have to go to Poland and visit Mr. Zero and Mrs. Karolinka, and because every group draw it's TVT.
It's a solid strategy, as were many, 2 out of 3 of the ones you played today. So thank you so much for that interview and your awesome. I wanted to also ask g0rynich about his thoughts moving forward in the BSL. So for g0rynich, you're advancing on to the semifinals. You got to the semifinals last season, and that was, I think, the farthest that you had ever made it. You were able to make it to the finals. Do you feel confident that you are strong enough to make it to the finals again?
Last season we played with Bonis in the finals, and this season I'm cheering for TT1 because I think his PVZ, I count his PVZ less than Bonis. So I think for me, if we are playing with Bonis, it's a final again. So if I somehow win the Bonis, then yes, I have good chances to win the whole tournament. For me, this will be the hardest series among all around Ro8 players. Maybe I can prepare for Bonis. Last season that was not flawless victory, but not even that close for 2-2. Maybe this season I can win 3-2. I hope I can.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly look like you're playing incredibly well. I'd love to see another trip to the finals, but either way, even if you do hit Bonnet in the next round, it's going to be an epic series. So congratulations once again, g0rynich, on advancing on to the semifinals for the second season in a row. It's going to be exciting to watch that series. And so a big thanks to both of our quarterfinal competitors for their interviews. And so we're going to say goodbye to them, and also goodbye to you guys for a brief break. And when we come back, we'll have our second best of 5 quarterfinal matchup between Bonnet, the champion of BSL, and TT1. It'll be a best of 5 to find out who will advance on to face off against g0rynich in the semifinals coming up next. So don't go anywhere.
Bye.
Bye. Good luck.